Good morning everybody and welcome to Trent Bridge Live and welcome to a very sunny Trent Bridge here on this glorious Sunday morning as the Metro Bank One Day Cup continues, and this time it is Essex that make the visit to Trent Bridge. Now the two captains, and I'm going to invite Hasib and me to join me now, have been out there in the middle and the toss has taken place and Essex won that toss. Has, come on in my friend. Having a bat today, Essex chose to bowl. Just your initial thoughts on that toss reaction?
Yeah, look, honestly, we were quite torn as to what to do if we won the toss. I think it's going to be a good cricket wicket again. Obviously, it played really well the other day. And yeah, I'm expected to do the same today. Now,
you mentioned the other day, obviously Gloucester here on Friday. Looked a good pitch, like you said. Obviously, yourself, scoring that 100 and then, obviously Gloucester as well with Hammond scoring 100 and whatever he got there in the end as well. And you spoke after the game about learning from that sort of like innings. What do you feel that you learned and what are you hoping that the boys kind of take into today's fixture against Essex?
Yeah, look, one of the things that we found quite hard to defend with the ball was having a left and right hand at the crease for the majority of their innings, and hopefully we've got that today, and we can utilise that to our advantage. And ultimately, I think it's just, they had quite big partnerships. Obviously, they had a 150-run partnership up top, which I think set them up really nicely. So it comes back to a lot of the things that we've done quite well in bits of this tournament as well. So, yeah, we'll be looking to do the same again today.
2 games left in this tournament. It comes thick and fast. Obviously, the last home game here, family fun day, hopefully a big crowd in here. What do you feel you've got to do in these last 2 fixtures to cement that kind of qualification and get in that top 3?
Yeah, look, ultimately we have to play good cricket and give ourselves the best chance to do that. Obviously today's our first opportunity to do that. We've got, a great crowd in hopefully, and we've got an opportunity to play a really good game in front of our home crowd. And I'm sure if we do that, we'll give ourselves a great chance of winning the game today.
Is it quite good that you've literally got 2 games back to back and, you kind of know how that pitch is played? Like you've mentioned, Ben Slater up top, Freddie McCann. Do you feel, batting first on Friday, they're kind of clear in their instructions and they know what they've got to do in this game?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, they've actually got us off to a really good start throughout this tournament. So yeah, obviously Ben's gone on and got 2 big hundreds for us, and ultimately we'll be looking at the top 4 or 5 of us to try and get ourselves into a position where we can really build that platform and then go give ourselves a goal hard at the end. 50 overs is a long time, so we have to bide our time, but also obviously take our opportunities to score runs when we can as well.
And just for you personally, coming in at number 4, obviously in the Red Bull County Championship you're used to opening, have you enjoyed that kind of role there in, I say the middle order, but it's still quite top order, but have you enjoyed that because obviously you've been in good form?
I have enjoyed it. Look, I've done it for the last couple of years now, batting at 4, so it's something that I've become accustomed to in this format, and I do enjoy it. Obviously you have to play the situation a little bit more, and it's obviously different to opening the batting where the game's dead set. But no, it's something that I really enjoyed, and hopefully I can keep enjoying it.
Another 100 in the bag for you?
Yeah, I'll try my best.
And just finally, team news, one change. Matthew Montgomery comes in for Brett Hutton. What can Monty bring into this 11?
Monty's a 3-dimensional cricketer. Obviously, we know he offers a lot with the bat, but also with the ball and in the field as well. So yeah, obviously, anytime Brett doesn't play, it's a loss to the team. But we've got Monty coming in, who I think will be really valuable for us on this wicket. And
potentially a bit of spin there as well, with obviously what he offers with his off spin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's obviously done a great job in the T20 stuff this year, and previously he's bowled a lot in the 50-over competition as well. So hopefully he can kind of use that experience to do a good job today.
Okay, well, thanks very much for joining us, and we wish you and the boys well. All right, thanks very much. The captain, Hasib Hamid, there. Now, as I mentioned, it is just one change for the Outlaws, but let's show you the actual selected 11, and you will see that Matthew Montgomery comes in for Brett Hutton. So it will be Ben Slater and Freddie McCann that come out of the pavilion very, very shortly and try to get the Outlaws off to a good start in that first initial power play. But they are your 11 for the Outlaws for today's fixture against Essex. Now, as me and Has just talked about there, it's the last 2 games in this campaign, and it's a very important game here today before we have the game against Warwickshire on Wednesday. And you'll see that literally it is quite tight in the table here. And you'll see Glamorgan and Warwickshire there at the top. But obviously, Gloucester got a victory here and they're up into 3rd. But they've played that 1 game more. It's very crucial for them to get that point. but it is Notts that are chasing for the top 3. 2 points today, and if you just look at that run rate, it's positive for Notts. So that is really crucial. It could come down to net run rate. So that positive run rate going in today's fixtures, and you can see all the other fixtures on the right-hand side. It's a busy day here in the Metro Bank, but 2 points today really for the Outlaws can be crucial in getting qualification. Glamorgan and Warwickshire at the top, they've kind of cemented those top 2. It is that 3rd place and the away quarter-final that Notts could potentially be looking for. But they've got to concentrate on today and getting that victory against Essex here. Now, I spoke to the captain, Hasib Hamid, and I mentioned that he's been in great form. If we just look, he's actually the top run scorer. Now, he's actually joint top run scorer with Ben Slater, but Haas has got a better average, so that's why we've done a few little stats there for Haas. He's been in great form. He got his highest score of the campaign against Gloucester here the other day, 105. He's been in great form, coming in at that number 4 and really kind of taking it to the bowlers and helping Notts get some runs and get a total on the board. So he's been in great form. But if we look from a bowling point of view, obviously we'll be doing that in the second part of today, but it's actually Lyndon James that leads the way on wickets. He's got 8 wickets so far this campaign. Luke Fletcher on 6, and actually Lyndon didn't bowl here the other day against Gloucester. So will we see him with the ball out there later on today as well? But he leads the way on 8 wickets so far. So it's a crucial day here. We are literally about 5 minutes away from the start of play. Just to remind you of the toss, it was Essex that won the toss. They've elected to have a bowl, and it will be Ben Slater and Freddie McCann that make their way down the steps very, very shortly. But it's Family Fun Day here at Trent Bridge. It's a glorious day. If you can come down, tickets are still available. £6 for adults, £1 for children. Lots going on around the ground. But if you can't, don't worry about it. We will bring you live ball-by-ball coverage of this Metro Bank One Day Cup. And I will hand you over to your 2 commentators for today's fixture. It's the 2 Daves, and I will start off. The first voice you'll hear will be the one and only, the Sheriff of Newark. It's Dave Bracegirdle.
Day here for what is round 7 for these 2 sides in the Metro Bank One Day Cup competition. Many thanks to Aaron Lord for setting the day up. Those of you listening to Trent Bridge Live or watching the pictures, watching the build-up with Aaron Lord and an interview there with Hasib Hamid. Lovely day. It's Family Fun Day here at Trent Bridge, and again I'll emphasise that the sun is shining and we've got clear blue skies. The only reason I say that is, believe it or not, it's 2005 since Notts and Essex completed a game here in the One Day Cup competition. Twice since then Essex have popped along to Trent Bridge, and both times it's been rained off. Well, hopefully that's not going to happen today. As I say, a lovely day, decent crowd, continues to build, the music blaring out, and hopefully we'll be in for a good contest. Plenty of runs scored here on Friday, and it's the same wicket. It looks an absolute belter. The outfield was lightning fast on Friday, and expect more of the same today. Notts are batting because Essex won the toss. Hasib Hamid's had a horrendous run of losing the toss, and I guess he almost expected to be put into bat today. Notts got 332 on Friday, and that was quite comfortably chased down by Gloucestershire. Today the visitors are Essex, who can no longer qualify. Number of youngsters in their ranks that we'll learn more about as the day goes on. Very much looking forward to this. There's been some great meetings over the years between Notts and Essex. Notts, by the way, make one change. Matthew Montgomery returns to the starting lineup in place of Brett Hutton. So to learn more about our visitors today and to give a very warm welcome to today's member of the BBC Essex Sports Commentary team. They do tend to rotate who they're going to send to ground, but he has been here in the recent past. A very good and warm morning to David Brett. How are you, fella?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Thanks for a very warm welcome, Dave. Yeah, it's a bit of a carousel, isn't it, between us BBC Essex commentators. Yeah, it's great to be back here. Last time I came here was a very, very miserable day during the pandemic about 3 or 4 years ago. I remember the whole ground being sealed off and we had to stay within the commentary box. Completely different today. Beautiful sunshine. The crowd started to come in. Plenty of kids about as well. It's good to see.
Some names in the Essex lineup, which I understand is unchanged. I was pleased that they told me that down on the pitch when I wandered out for the toss. There's one or two names that are very, very familiar, and one or two that less so.
Yeah, so I'll say again, and I've said this a number of times, I really like this competition. I understand from an Essex fan's point of view, it hasn't been the best. We're languishing near the bottom of the table, if not the bottom, depending on how today's results go. But what I would say is it's a really great opportunity to see some youngsters. Maybe they haven't performed up, maybe this is their skill level, maybe they've got some more to go. Hopefully there is more to go, but there's plenty of talent out there. It just hasn't quite clicked this season. I think everyone's talking about Luke Benkenstein, the leg spinner, potential all-rounder. He's done really well in the couple of games that I've seen him. Robin Das is a very, very flashy batsman, scores, runs really quickly. He hasn't scored a great amount of runs in the competition. Everyone knows about Feroz Kouchi, very classy player. Obviously Tom Wesley and Nick Brown, stalwarts of the county championship side. The one game I've seen Simon Fernandez play, the wicket-keeper, took 5 catches behind the stumps and 1 run out as well, so he was excellent. Ben Allison has got potential as well, mainly a bowler. His brother's more of a batsman than Ben Allison, but again, the game that I saw him in, he performed very well with the bat. Shane Snaith has got the real opportunity to become the next Ryan Tender-Scarter for Essex. He's got a really decent chance of being that really good all-rounder. He's excellent with the ball at the moment, just needs to come on a little bit with the bat, and Jamal Richards has got so much potential, real potential. He's very quick when he bowls, and he can bat as well.
And Jamie Porter at the bottom, of course. Any side that's got Jamie Porter in has to command the greatest of respect. Big fan of Jamie Porter.
Yeah, but I presume he's, well, brought in for probably 2 reasons. One, because there's a county championship game about to start next couple of Thursdays' time, and there's a big chance he wouldn't have played for a long time, so give him a bit of get a bit of overs in his legs, but also maybe bring a little bit of control with the ball.
Our umpires today, Phil Mustard, the Colonel. I don't think he's done Notts before. Obviously used to playing against him many times in Durham colours, may even have played once against Notts in his brief spell at the end of his career with Gloucestershire, but now a first-class umpire. Good to see the Colonel there, Phil Mustard. Anthony Harris. Now then, Anthony Harris. Last week at Neath, Anthony Harris gave a decision, shall we say, that wasn't necessarily universally popular with the Notts side or supporters. He gave Jack Haynes out a leg side catch, which clearly seemed to just flick the thigh pad. But anyway, they all get them right, they all get them wrong, they all call it as they see it. But Anthony Harris, warm welcome to him as well. Our scorers for this game, Anne Cusworth and Helen Hyde, a fine pair of ladies who are doing the notching today. Had a natter with them both down there for the toss, which took me by surprise because I was stood there like a lemon out in the middle, and they were all lining up just to do the toss right over at the far side for the in-house TV cameras there that wanted the toss to be done just beneath the Batman board. The toss won by Tom Wesley, and he told Hasiba Mead that he'd like to have a bowl. Our match referee, Dean Kosker, the former Glamorgan spinner. Good morning to them all of our officials. Ian Smith, who works the big screens here at Trent Bridge, and Paul Harrison, who looks after the players' comforts in the dressing room. And the other thing I should mention is well done Essex, because I'm absolutely sick of all blacks and yellow and blues. There are more colours on the rainbow or on the spectrum on your wallpaper chart than yellow and blue and all black, which is all that seem to play against. But Essex have come in purple, which I like.
Yeah, nice colour, isn't it?
Do you want to kick us off, Jamie Porter?
Go for it.
Radcliffe Road End, David Brett.
So Porter standing at the top of his mark. He's got a mid-off, a mid-off, a cover, a backward point and a slip in as Porter around the wicket to the left-hander bowls, and that's just defended into the leg side. There's a big gap there. He just drops the ball in and gets Nottinghamshire off the mark with the very first ball, a little bit too straight. Can
I just say something that has just leapt out at me, which I wasn't aware? Every game in this competition, 2 left-handed openers, Ben Slater, Freddie McCann. When a wicket's gone down, Jack Haynes has come in at 3. Notts have flipped it. They've got a left-hand, right-hand opening combination. Jack Haynes is opening for the first time for Notts. Played in all the games, but he's been coming in at 3. And Freddie McCann, the 19-year-old England under-19s bat is having a great summer, but we're going to find him a little lower down in the order. So this is Jack Haynes, who not Scott from Worcestershire in the close season.
Same field to Haynes on the offside as Porter moves in now. Right arm over to the right-handed Haynes. Oh, and that beats him first up. Is the edge? No, there's an appeal, half of one. And nothing from the umpire. There's an extremely short boundary out to our right-hand side. It's a small clip away for a 4.
Well, you're not the first to come here and say, well, what an extremely short boundary, and then I point down at the next 2, 3, 4, 5 strips that are even closer, that have all been used on for first-team games this year.
Really?
So it can get much shorter on that side.
That's ridiculous. That is
fun.
That is so short. As Porter moves in again and bowls. That's down the leg side. Well taken by the wicketkeeper, but it's well wide as well. And that's a couple of runs to the total. Run to the total. 2 for no loss.
Of course, Essex. Not too sure how many of this side will have played. Certainly Feroz Kushi, Tom Westley, and Jamie Porter, and maybe Shane Snater. I'll have to have a look. Have all sampled success on this ground. First match of the season, Essex defeating Notts in the county championship back in April.
Yeah, Snater definitely played here as Porter bowls 4. That's an LBW appeal. It's close. Look good from up here. Umpire says not out.
Yes, it looked a decent shout. Are they my binoculars or yours?
They're yours.
It doesn't matter. It's what's mine is yours for today. But let's just have a little check on the umpires, because they're both obviously suitably attired and with the same hats on. It's Phil Mustard at this end, gives it not out. Had Haynes looked up and again seen Ant Harris potentially about to give him out, he wouldn't have been too happy.
Porter full again. Drive this time from the batsman, picked up on the bounce by Porter, and there's no run. There's a mid-on, a mid-wicket, a deep square leg. I say deep. It's probably normal square leg on a normal field. It's barely 10 yards outside the 30-yard circle. That's how small that boundary is on the mid-wicket side for the right-hander, and there's a short fine leg as well.
Picking fault already, yes. Picking fault.
We demand perfection in Essex. Here comes Porter, 44 on his back, bowls full again. Forward comes the batsman, and that's played back down the pitch, and there's no run. Beckenstein with the fielding at mid-on.
Yeah, you've got to remember I've been to Chelmsford. I lost my absolute train of thought. Oh yes, of course Jamie Porter did play in that championship game at the start of the season, but totally overshadows, everybody's overshadowed here this season by the performance of Sam Cook, who got a 5 for got a hat-trick in the first innings and a 5 for in the second.
Turn the game for Essex as Porter bowls, and that's just back of a length. Oh, and the batsman comes charging down the pitch, sent back by the batsman and non-strikers. Then a sliding stop at cover. That would have hurt. I think it's Nick Brett. No, is it Tom Westley doing the sliding there? But it was on one of those cut pitches. He's limping away. I'd have been quite painful to full on that. Anyway, prevented the run. And that's the end of the over. Scoreboard's just disappeared unhelpfully. 2 for no loss at the end of the first.
We have got a monitor and we have got graphics before producer Kirsty comes leaping in trying to make them work again, but we have got them today yet, so there we are. That should stay on, because unhelpfully, as you say, the scoreboard at times, and I know it is for the information of the general public, it will just flick to messages and adverts and all the rest of it, so we can see on our monitor. Thank you very much. Shane Snater to bowl the second over. We'll have a look during the course of the day. I don't know if it's a 6 for or a 7 for he got here in 2021 in the match that Luke Fletcher also remembers well. He got a 6 for or a 7 for. 2 without loss Notts. Dave Bracegirdle and David Brett here in the commentary box. You can get me on @BraceCricket. I don't know if David's open for communication today, but here from the broad end is Snater bowling to the left-handed Slater. Here we go, Snater to Slater. That could easily confuse an idiot early on.
bbcsxcricket@gmail.com if you want to get in touch with us via email.
Now that's very, very handy, and you don't mind, I presume, any Nottinghamshire listeners who want to fire in an email. So go again.
Look, the more the merrier. bbcsxcricket@gmail.com. Makes the day go a little bit quicker.
I hope you've got that at home, because I will forget it. But it's handy to know if you want to send us a message. Nick Brown is at slip. Whittam Club Professional, I believe. Can't tell you another club in the the county of Essex, as this is turned behind square on the leg side, but I do have friends and former teammates and associates who play for Whittam, and no, Nick Brown certainly over the last year or two has been their club professional. Single taken by Slater, so he's off strike, off Snater, and it will be Jack Haynes who started this competition with, they called it an Audi, 0, 0, 0 and 0, but he didn't get the 5 Olympic rings. He got 86 at Guildford last Sunday against Surrey, and then made 11 on Friday here against Gloucestershire. But an interesting move to promote the young Haynes to the top of the order today, and he just fiddles this one down on an angle of 45 to get off the mark. Crowd decent, but in past years, I don't know what this is. If it's clashing with holidays, if it's I don't know if there are other attractions, if people are away, if people have had too much cricket, if people have fallen out of love with cricket, if they're still on the way here, I'm not sure. But the family fun day, in recent seasons, we've struggled to see an empty seat. Snater round the wicket to Slater, turns this on the leg side, and there's no run. Good tumbling stop there, and I'll identify him in a moment. I think it's 50. Is it 56? 55? No, it can't be 55 because he's the keeper.
It's 56. Someone's got a random shirt on.
Ah, we'll have to have a check on that, or there has been a late change, but we'll sort out who number 56 is for you.
I'm tempted to say it might be Robin Das, just with a different shirt on.
Snater comes in and bowls second over of the match, and Slater works it up to mid-on. Ben Slater 24 in the first match, and then a bizarre circumstance. After a lengthy rain delay, he and Freddie McCann were both retired out. We won't dwell on that, but 24 retired out at Leicester, 107 not out against Sussex, duck against Yorkshire, 1 against Glamorgan, then bounce back to, well, it was a career best, 164 last Sunday against Surrey at Guildford, and 38 on Friday. Last ball of the second over, Notts 4 with Outlaws against the purple of Essex, and Slater will keep strike, just angling this down to third, and it's 5 on the board after 2 overs.
Do you still play much cricket at all?
No. In fact, I even taught my way out of the odd umpiring assignment. I think I've umpired 1 this season and said that's it. No, I had the best part of 45 years or so playing cricket at various levels and whatever, and then it all came to a timely conclusion with an operation which sort of restricted shoulder movement a little bit, and that was the end of that.
Porter in from the Ratcliffe Road end. That's driven, but not convincingly. A thick outside edge run down towards third man for a single by Slater. He goes to 4, 6 for no loss. Short boundary on the offside for the left-hander.
Barely a breeze. We've only got the Notts flag again today. It has tended to be the way in the Metro Bank One Day Cup. The visiting sides, whoever they may be, tend not to go through the motions of bringing the flag and hoisting it up the flagpole.
Porter, 44 on his back up to the stumps now, bowls, and that's defended down towards a short backward point, and there's no run.
I'm sure you won't remember, but your view away to the right is now obstructed. The Dave Bracegirdle residential care home has been built over there, obscuring our view out towards the power station and East Midlands Airport and the Loughborough Road. We used to see the traffic coming all the way. And
but surely you'll have one of the penthouses on top, looking over the stand.
People have sent me photographs. They've been up there and had a look, and you can actually see into the ground from there.
Porter in again, bowls back of a length, and that's crashed away short and wide outside the off stump, smashed away for 4 through the covers. First boundary of the day. Haynes goes to 5, and Nottingham are 10 for no loss.
First series of likes to some of my tweaks from a certain Mr. Topley. If clearly, in the interests of neutrality, whoever wins today probably deserves to win. May the best side win. Let's all enjoy the cricket. But maybe one of the Essex bowlers will have a day out with the ball, and I'll tell you why I say that in a moment.
Still a slip in for Porter as he bowls full this time. That's allowed to go through outside the off stump. No run.
As he, I'm sure, will be quick to remind everybody at any possible opportunity, the best one-day figures taken by an Essex bowler against Notts, a certain D. Topley, Esquire, at Colchester, 1988, 6 for 33. They're the best Essex figures against Notts in one-day cricket.
Was it your what, 5th, 6th, 11 out that day? Here comes Porter. Bowls, fall again, and that's driven straight back to the bowler now. Was that a drop? I think that's a drop.
Yeah, there was some oohs from the crowd.
Straight back at him. I mean, it's always difficult with the bowler following through, but that was at a nice height. I think that's been dropped.
Self-preservation, wasn't it, from Jamie Porter? It was instinctive. It was reflex. It was right back, sort of towards the belly button, I fancy. And all he can do is just thrust his hands there as quickly as he can. Sometimes they stick, and sometimes they don't.
Porter just having a little bit of a think about things, trying his hand. And he moves in now. Beautiful sunshine over above. First time I'm glad to be inside. A bit too hot out there. And that's off the back foot. Just punched away through the covers. A nice tumbling stop again. Oh, again on one of those cut strips. And whoever the fielder is has gone down that hard surface. I think that's Robin Das. I think Das is wearing someone else's shirts. But he saves a couple of runs there. Just one to the total. 11 for no loss at the end of the third over.
Just waiting for him to turn around again. Of course, it's not going to say Das, even if
no.
11 without loss. Yes, we've got the best of both worlds. We're inside, but we've got the windows wide open. I do like a commentary box where you can open the windows and sort of get a feel, get a flavour of the atmosphere.
It's Noah Thane, I think. No, Thane's on number 8, but I can't see him out there either.
Snater bowling to Haynes eases this into the offside, and there's no run. So an important day in both divisions. We'll try and make sense of it as we go on. What we can say is that up and down the country there's play in all the matches. In the same group as Notts and Essex. Surrey are batting away against Sussex. They're 15 without loss. Warwickshire 5 without loss, batting at home against Yorkshire, and Leicestershire, who Notts really would help their chances if Leicestershire lost. They're 11 for 1 at home to Glamorgan as this is pushed out onto the offside. Again, sort of talking about it the other day. Oh, I've just seen another score actually from the other division, which has to be mentioned. Middlesex 2 for 2 against Somerset. Middlesex, who don't do white ball cricket, clearly not doing it again today. That Leicestershire Glamorgan game, it's the first one-day cup game to be their live stream, their club live stream behind the paywall. We know Kent did it in the Blast, but Leicestershire have gone behind the paywall. Got to pay to watch that one today. Haynes on strike, turns this to mid-wicket, and there's no run.
56 is Ben Allison. It's down on our sheet as 65. 56 is Ben Allison.
Is his brother still with Essex? Which one went to Worcestershire and came back again? Was it Ben or his brother?
I think it was Charlie. Charlie did go out on loan.
Yeah, that was probably Worcestershire, wasn't it?
I thought it was Kent, but
okay.
I could be wrong.
It might have been last season. There's definitely been an Allison at Worcestershire, and he's played against Notts.
Yeah, he's the batsman.
We're in the 4th over. There's Jack Haynes. Turns this behind square for I was going to say for a single, and then I've got to laugh, and I'm not laughing at Jamal Richards. I'm laughing at the latest in the series, and in fact it's an ever extending list of the times that Dave Bracegirdle has fallen over recently. I went out onto the outfield and off the playing area down to our left, just in front of the large board. I stepped onto the outfield, and I must have stepped on there 500 times over the years, and I've never seen a drain cover before, and I tripped straight over it. Went down like a sack of what's it. 13 without loss as this is pulled away on the leg side. Nicely played by Haynes, who was on strike because of that slight slip in a similar area from Jamal Richards.
Right, I've solved the conundrums. Ben Allison is out there on 65. Robin Das is wearing his brother's shirt, 56. That solves it. because I still couldn't see Das out there with the number 47 on his back. So yeah, he's just wearing Charlie Allison's shirt.
In football and maybe rugby union and probably most sports, there may well be sanctions taken against a player for going out incorrectly attired, but cricket just seems to draw a blank over it as Slater drives elegantly. That's a Ben Slater shot. It really does like to find those extra cover boundaries and pitch it up there, half volley or that sort of area, and he's going to hurt you every single time. Lovely shot from Slater. We're through 4 overs here on BBC Essex, BBC Radio Nottingham with David Brett, myself, Dave Bracegirdle. Notts have got 18 on the board. They were asked about first by Tom Westley and got off to a decent enough foundation from those first 4 overs with a new opening partnership. It'll be interesting to see what they're going to do with Freddie McCann, whether it is just to try and make sure it goes right-hander, left-hander. Maybe he's padded up to come in if Slater gets out. Maybe Hasib Hamid is padded up to come in if Haynes gets out. We'll have to see.
Slip gets taken out, so runs starting to flow for Nottinghamshire. Ball going gun barrel straight at the moment on a flat pitch as Porter bowls. This is slightly on the pads, and that's flicked away to that short boundary, but it's covered by the fielder coming around from deep square leg, and it will just be a single. 19 for no loss here on BBC Essex, BBC Radio Nottingham.
Good night clubbing in the middle of Nottingham.
Well, I was about to say, so my hotel was in the middle of Nottingham, and I wandered out. I took a wander out around about, I guess it was about 8 o'clock for some food last night, and it was going. It was lively. There were a lot of people out. There were a lot.
Surprise me.
There were a lot of people staggering about, even at 8 o'clock in the evening. It was quite good to see, actually.
I would imagine round about then the Notts County fans were getting back. I went with them to Tranmere yesterday. I didn't get back till about 10. The M56, lots of roadworks.
Porter round the wicket to the left-handed Slater, and that's come off the pad. It's caught him high though, and it goes down towards third man for a leg. No, it's an inside edge onto pads. Okay, that's a run. 20 for no loss. Yes, there were a few people. I completely passed me by. I knew the Football League season started yesterday. I didn't realise the community. Is it called Community Shield these days?
Oh yes, yep.
Never realised that was on yesterday.
Yeah, the Manchesters. Yeah.
Took me completely by surprise. Porter, number 44, coming in. Past the umpire, bowls full, and that's just defended down towards short third man for a single. For no run, sorry. And
what are we going to do with our evenings now? Because the Olympics finishes, well, we're about finished now, won't it? And it's the closing ceremony tonight. It's been a joy really to catch up with all those sports we never knew existed, or I didn't know existed, and those that we've grown to know and love over the years. But
it's the one time every 4 years that you'll be getting to
you're an expert
into bouldering. Porter in bowls, and that's defended down towards mid-wicket, and there's no run.
My favourite sport has got to be skateboard falling off. Really enjoyed seeing the precocious youngsters go crashing, but they pick themselves up and have a smile and have another go, get on with it. But
I do like the BMXs. The speed at which they're travelling is incredible. I always used to like BMXing when I was growing up, and it sort of seemed to drift off, but I only ever see it once every 4 years now. But yeah, the power and pace they managed to get up on a really short course as Porter bowls full, defended back down the pitch, mid-on fields this time.
We'll have yachting in the only place in the Mediterranean where there's no breeze.
we didn't do too well in the yachting this year.
There was the young lady that won something or other. Did they call it kite? I don't know if you saw that, where she had a kite over her head and won the race. Yeah. We got the gold in that.
I imagine you're the type of person that really likes the break dancing.
Very much.
Or breaking, as it's called. Porter bowls full, and again just defended back down the pitch.
Is that no ball? Has he got his arm out? Yes.
It's going to be a no ball and a free hit. I think he's overstepped. 22 for no loss, a couple of runs to the total. Jamie Porter is arguing the point.
Yeah, come on, Phil, what are you on about?
Yeah, he's not going to win that point, I'll tell you that.
You're a wicket keeper, mate. You're not a bowler.
Free hit. Let's see where he dispatches this.
Or not.
Yeah.
It's very often an anti-climax, aren't they?
Yeah. See what Porter's got up his sleeve. His purple shirt. Still some fans coming into the ground as Porter moves in now. Bowls wide outside the offside. There's a huge heave, a thick inside edge. That's going to run away to that short boundary for 4. Unlucky from Porter, but he served it up. And a big swipe by the batsman. And he gets 4 runs off an inside edge. 26 for no loss.
Yeah, so in the end, 8 from that over, but it was the 6th ball of the over that was the costly one. Had he not overstepped, I know it's very much a world of ifs and buts and what have you, small margins, but had he not overstepped, that would have been very, very miserly over indeed, bowled by Jamie Porter. 26 without loss. I'm sure you're as au fait with the regulations as David and I are. Probably in some cases, certainly in my case, probably a little more au fait with the regulations. But an initial 10 over power play, just 2 fielders allowed outside the ring as Shane Snater bowls to Ben Slater. And the Chesterfield churner works this away on the leg side for a single, fielded by Noah Thane. At the risk of being shot down immediately, Luke Benkenstein playing. I think it's the first time I've seen him, and presumably son of Dale.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm just reading an email from Rob. He said it was Ben Allison that was at Worcester earlier this year and Feroz Koushi at Kent. So I got me Allisons and Feroz Koushis mixed up.
Next ball is played to mid-wicket and there's no run. And of course, Feroz Koushi returning to this ground where he ran into some difficulties in the opening week of the season. He was minding his own business, just going along nicely at the top of the Essex order when one of the umpires said, "Hey, just give us your bat a minute, I just want to run it through the gauge." And of course it wouldn't go through the gauge, and there was all sorts of potential repercussions. Essex are going to be closed down as a club, Essex are going to be docked 50 points, Essex are going to be this, that and the other, but I don't think anything came of it in the end, as this one passed the outside edge and through into the gloves of wicket-keeper Simon Fernandez. And it remains 27 without loss. I think I don't know. I think I'm led to believe that after all the repercussions and all the paperwork and everything was written up and passed and sanctions being drawn up and everything, I think then they decided that maybe it was the gauge that was faulty and not the bat. But whatever happens, Feroz Koushi will have flashbacks of that moment at Trent Bridge, I guess, for a while, as this is eased into the offside and there's no run. Every time I think since the umpire has said, "Let me just run you back through the gauge," he's perhaps had a little bit of a swallow and hoped that it had gone through. And I think we've seen an increase in the number of bats around the county circuit without stickers on this year. I think that they're just desperate to make sure the bat goes through the gauge. Haynes taps his bat a couple of times. He's on 14 out of 27. This one's pitched up to him and he drags it on the leg side and there's no run.
Bats are big enough and thick enough these days, aren't they? Don't need to get any bigger.
Leicestershire have got lost a second wicket there, 32 for 2 after 5 against Glamorgan. Apologies if I focus on that one a little bit more than some of the others, but that one is quite pivotal to Nottinghamshire's hopes of progression, provided they win their last 2. There's a nice looking drive to Haynes to mid-on, and he'd have been out by 2 or 3 yards at least had the throw from mid-on hit the stumps. It narrowly missed. Don't think Haynes did an awful lot wrong by judging the athleticism of the fielder on and set off. He scampered down the other end like Usain Bolt here in the gun. Couldn't have got there any quicker, but the fielding was brilliant. Did we manage to get a name on that purple shirt?
I'm pretty sure it was Benkenstein.
It's a brilliant bit of fielding. Clean pick-up, quick shy, accurate shy. Well, it wasn't an accurate shy because he missed, but very, very close, and it was a powerful throw as well. Good work all round. 28 without loss after 6.
Yeah, he went on the B of the bang, didn't he? Probably just struck it a little bit cleaner than he thought, but again, as you say, it was mainly down to the fielding. Superb pick-up, roll and throw. Very athletic from Benkenstein. Start of a new over from the Radcliffe Road end here on BBC Essex and BBC Radio Nottingham as Porter bowls, and that's full. clipped into the leg side. Brown does the fielding, and there's no run. I was tempted by the theatre last night, actually. There's a few good things on at the local playhouses, but I was at the cinema until about 7:30, so I missed the start of it.
But last night you went to the cinema as well?
Well, in an attempt to keep myself on the straight and narrow, I thought I'd go to the cinema.
No, I'm all for that. I try and catch up with a bit of culture when I'm away.
Porter bowls, and that's flipped off the pads down towards deep backward square leg for a single. 29 for no loss.
Culture comes in various shapes and sizes. I mean, if there's some comedy on it, we'll go and have a look at that. Or if there's, I mean, take Southport for example. I know the Notts listeners will have heard this. Notts were at Southport last month, and I'd sort of heard. Obviously, we all know about the Angel of the North, the Anthony Gormley thing up at Gateshead, side of the A1. But on Crosby Beach, Formby Beach, there's all those Gormley statues.
Slater on strike, the left-hander, right arm around the wicket from Porter, and that's on the pads, flipped away. That's going to chase down from short fine leg. It's going to be stopped about 10 yards inside the boundary. They'll come back for a second run. It's Jamal Richards down there doing the fielding. Slide and stop, 2 to the total, 31 for no loss.
Yeah, so Notts, when Notts were at Southport, as I say, it was only 8 to 9 miles. Sort of two beaches. People said you're on Crosby Beach there or you're on Formby Beach there. They just seem to run into each other. It's not good radio, but so David knows what I'm on about. All the statues on the beach.
Porter bowls, and that's an LBW appeal, but that looked high to me, and it might have come off the bat as well. Anyway, not out, no run, 31 for no loss.
Interesting thing really is about 150 of them spread over a 2-mile radius, and they almost go from almost the public footpath onto the beach and then right out into the sea. So as the tide comes in, the ones furthest out get drowned, but those closer to the shore, it only just about comes up to their waist. But it's an interesting thing to look at.
Porter in again, bowls Slater, and that's hit the pads, but I was going down the leg side, and there's no run. 31 for no loss. I mean, what if you're swimming in the sea? You'd end up swimming straight into one, wouldn't you?
Well,
I mean, they've obviously thought about that, but it seems quite dangerous to me. And also quite menacing if you're walking along the beach and you're thinking, hang on, who's that over there just standing still staring at me, if you're not quite expecting it.
I think it is a well-known tourist destination there.
Porter full, and that's outside the offside. A big swipe by Slater trying to crash that through the offside. It flies through to the wicketkeeper. That's the end of the over. What have we got? We've had 7 overs. And Nottinghamshire are 31 for no loss. Yeah,
they've been there about 10 years now, and it's interesting because all the biologists, I mean, I know nothing about it, and the marine scientists or whatever, because those that the water comes in, there's all sort of crustaceans and I don't know, sea anemones and all sorts starting to form on them, and they're being closely monitored by the marine biologists. Anyway, that's completely out of my depth. I don't know a lot about anything really, certainly nothing about things in the sea, as we continue here at Trent Bridge with Snater bowling to Jack Hames, promoted for reasons that we'll try and find out later. To the top of the order, takes a single, and he moves on to 17 from his 36 balls. Ben Slater 12 from 14, Notts 32 for their first wicket.
And you say there's 200 of these?
150 of them spread over 2 miles, spreading from Crosby Beach into Formby Beach, or Formby Beach into Crosby Beach, whatever, and then the next place is Southport. So it's too good an opportunity not to go and have a look, just to say, yeah, we've seen them. Nice again from Slater, and again it's through the offside for 4. That's his shot, don't bowl there. 36 without loss. Moves on to 16.
Forlorn dive there from Ben Allison. That was struck nicely, racing away over this quick outfield. It's probably the longest boundary on the field this afternoon.
Yeah, over towards the Fox Road side of the ground. That one was hit in a direction really of the Larwood and Vose, or the Hound Road stand. Feel a bit for the visitors. Gloucestershire on Friday and Essex today. They can't sit on their balcony at Trent Bridge and watch the cricket because the black screens are up right in line with where we're playing here. Slater on strike again, and doesn't time this one, just pushes it back to the bowler. So the Essex coaching, beg your pardon, the Notts coaching staff and players, they can sit on their balcony and see. But later on in the day, the Essex coaching staff and the players off the field will use the dugouts out there, the 100 dugouts in front of the Batman board at the far end of the ground. 36 without loss. Good crowd, make no bones about it. Good crowd in at Trent Bridge. As this one's just run to backward point. No, it's not Tom Wesley. It's Feroz Kushi doing the fielding. The concourses and the car parks, the TBI car park, full of user-friendly facilities today. There's obviously the pizzas and the burgers and the fish and chips and the bars, but there's also the face painting and bouncy castles and sundry other things for the youngsters to be entertained with if they're not necessarily into sitting still and watching 100 overs of cricket. Snate around the wicket, and Slater, who just advances out of his crease to that one under the bright sunshine of this East Midlands Sunday morning, eases it into the offside, and there's no run.
Yeah, they're still filtering in, aren't they?
Yeah. Last 3 one-day meetings between these two sides have all been at Chelmsford, and funnily enough, Notts have won all of those. 2015, when I remember Imran Tahir making his debut, and his first wicket was bowling Ravi Bopara with a wrong un with the googly. It was a terrific bit of bowling from the South African international. Slater again through the offside for 4. If I know it, Shane Snater should know it. Don't bowl just outside, on or outside his off stump, because he'll murder you all day long. 40 without loss after 8. 2017 at Chelmsford was that. From the Notts perspective, I know Essex have had their great days, and I'm sure we'll talk about them, but from 2017, that was one of the great days of Nottinghamshire cricket, when Essex racked up 370 in the semi-final of the Royal London, and Stephen Mullaney and Samit Patel down Notts' highest score in one-day cricket against Essex. 370 they chased down. Mullaney and Patel at their best. And 2023, last year, again, it was a young Essex side, and Notts got the points in this competition.
Porter continuing from the Radcliffe Road end. A big swipe outside the off. Somebody's edged it. He's gone. Fernandez takes the catch low to his right-hand side. I think Haynes will be a little bit disappointed there. He's just started to get going in his innings. 17 off 30. Big swipe outside the off stump. I think probably a slight under edge. It just about carried to Fernandez, just leaning away to his right-hand side. And Essex get their first wickets. Nottinghamshire are 40 for 1 at the start of the ninth.
Yeah, it's a tame one, really, wasn't it? It was wide enough to go after. Minimal or virtually no foot movement. No, he just played away from his body, and unfortunately the only piece of the bat that made contact was a very thin piece, and comfortable take from the wicket-keeper. Said this phrase a number of times on Friday. I think he's left a few runs out there. Jack Haynes will be a little disappointed. So the right-hander's gone, and so it didn't make an awful lot of sense in my theory of let's keep it right hand, left hand, because basically all they've done is swap Freddie McCann from opener to number 3, and Jack Haynes from number 3 to open. It is going to be Freddie McCann coming in at 3. 19-year-old local product. He's had a colossal couple of seasons with not seconds, and those runs have then followed him into under-19s international cricket this year. Monstrous couple of scores in the finished, and in his only blast game he got 48 against Yorkshire at Headingley. He's had a number of decent starts in this year's competition, but again 48 remains his best in this competition, and that was down at Neath a week last Wednesday against Glamorgan. Dropping down to 3 for the first time. Let's see what he can do. He's in at number 3 in the order.
So Porter makes the breakthrough for Essex, and McCann is the new man on strike. Left-hander, just the one slip in, as Nick Brown is actually going into slip. He was there at extra cover, but he's gone to slip, and the man at mid-wicket is just going to move across towards the cover position. A little bit of switch around of fielders here as extra cover moves into an extra cover position, and that is Das, as the next delivery is just defended out towards backward point, and there's no run. So a slip in, a backward point, a cover, an extra cover, a mid off, mid on, a deep square leg and a short fine leg, and there's also a third man just hidden away out on the boundary, just having a chat with one of the coaches out there.
Just seen a note from Richard Vaughan. Thank you, Richard. Should have seen it a moment or two ago. Richard says if Das is wearing somebody else's shirt, it'll probably be Charlie Allison's, because it's the third game running that he's worn it. Thank you, Richard.
Porter bowls full. That's defended down the pitch, and there's no run. Benkenstein fields. Lucky shirt, maybe? I don't know. Surely, whatever the issue was.
Matt just seemed to totally ignore the fact that A is wearing B's shirt and B is wearing C's shirt, and, well, so what? There's never any sanctions, but there are in other sports.
Porter kicks up his heels, bowls, and the back of a length defended out to the offside by McCann. All two Essex fielders charging for it. It's Feroz Koushi and Robin Das. Koushi gets there first, and there's no run. 40 for 1 in the ninth here on BBC Essex, BBC Radio Nottingham. Myself, David Brett, and Dave Bracegirdle. BBC Essex Cricket at gmail.com if you want to get in touch. And your X handle?
At Brace Cricket.
At Brace Cricket.
Yes, can you imagine in the Premier League if Liverpool, Chelsea or whatever, they're wearing each other's shirts?
Porter bowls, and that's defended into the leg side off the pads. There's an ooh and an ah from Brown behind the stumps. That's run down towards backward square leg for a single. 42 for, should be 42 for 1.
In fact, before I set off this morning, I caught the start, the early stages of the women's marathon in the Olympics, and they've been running for a while, and they came to the drink station.
Porter coming in again from the Ratcliffe Road and bright blue skies, and that's clipped away into the leg side, fielded at short mid wicket by Koushi, and that's the end of the over. 9 overs gone in Nottinghamshire's innings, and they are 41 for 1.
Yeah, good over that, just one run and the wicket, so 1 over left in the power play. Came to the drink station, and the 80 odd runners, athletes there, and all these drinks bottles, and one of them picked up a bottle and then obviously realised it wasn't hers, and had the presence of mind to pick up hers then, and then go and see that, you know, all right, she picked Janet's bottle up or whoever it may be, and gave Janet her bottle. And yeah, great. And Paula Radcliffe and Steve Cram were on commentary and all. That's great presence of mind, you know, clearly made an error and whatever. And then an official car came up, like they do on the Tour of France, came up, and an official leaned over and gave the yellow card, and they were saying, you know,
wow,
you know, if do that again and you know, you're disqualified. But I don't know, clearly didn't mean to do it.
Seems a bit harsh.
Yeah. Anyhow, here's Shane Snater bowling, and Freddie McCann beaten on the outside, and it goes through to the keeper. The Yellow Belly's been in touch. Good morning, Yellow Belly. Apart from the innings at Guildford, doesn't seem to be happening for Jack Haynes at the moment. Completely agree with you, Yellow Belly. It was unlucky at Neath. He wasn't within a country mile of hitting that one, but it's been a lean tournament, and the 77 that Jack Haynes got first innings of the season against Essex remains his highest score in the championship. Did have 86 in this against Surrey, but still await his first 3-figure score. As McCann again happy just to push on the offside. Good morning to Yellow Belly then for getting in touch at Brace Cricket.
I was thinking this morning actually while watching the women's marathon. You've got to feel absolutely short-changed if your one event is on the very last day of the Olympics, so you can't enjoy any of the other stuff that's going on in the Olympic Village. You can't eat, not even all the fast food restaurants or anything like that, and you get one night.
Yeah, probably got a 6 a.m. flight tomorrow morning out.
I think if I was doing an event, I'd want it to be over and done with by about Wednesday or Thursday the first week, so proper training for the first few days, and then the next week and a bit just to enjoy yourself and watch a load of other sports. As that delivery's just driven into the offside, there's no run.
I beg your pardon, it's my
sorry,
no,
my apologies.
It's all right.
Ranting on about
I was enjoying
Olympics.
listening to you. I didn't see, I don't know if how much of it they screened, and I've not seen all that much. But Tahiti, the other side of the world.
I did not know that.
Yes, yeah, the French island.
They outsourced it, did they?
Yeah. Snater bowls, McCann again happy to defend, bide his time, wait for an opportunity to properly get his innings up and running. He's just got a single from 8 balls. The surfing was done in Tahiti.
I know they had trouble with the wind down in Marseille for the yachting. Obviously the issues with the swimming in the Seine.
Yes, rather you than me, or rather anybody than me.
Yes.
You really would need to be insane to dive in there. 2 balls left in the power play. Snater to McCann. 2 left-handers have been reunited. This is pushed back to the bowler.
Actually, just before the Olympics, I watched a film on Netflix, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was about a shark, or sharks plural, that managed to get into the Seine, and there was a triathlon or something about to kick off.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it was all right.
We're 5/6 of the way into the first maiden of the day. It comes in the final over of the power play. McCann will push it into the offside, so that can't happen too often, I wouldn't have thought. Shane Snater bowls the 10th over, the final over of that initial power play, when normally sides are looking just to continue to cash in and make the most of it, and it's a maiden. So 41 for 1 is the not score. They were put into bat. They have lost 1 wicket, that of Jack Haynes, promoted to open, caught behind by the wicketkeeper for now. Ben Slater, 20 not out, and not nicely poised. They've got a little bit of a platform here, but that clearly would have been a setback, losing Haynes then. But they've still got Asib Hamid, who's in very good touch, got 100 on Friday. Lyndon James has been called up for the England Lions. He'll miss the game on Wednesday, playing for England Lions. Tom Moores, Matthew Montgomery, Liam Patterson-White, Calvin Harrison, the leg spinner, Rob Lord, and Luke Fletcher to come.
Sticking with Jamie Porter from the Radcliffe Road end, I expect he'll get at least 7, possibly 8 overs at the start. Here's Porter bowls, that's into the pads of Slater. He flicks the other one down towards mid-on for no run. 41 for 1 at the start of the 11th.
Excuse any glee from this side of the desk. Leicestershire 45 for 4. Holland, Budinger, Hill, and the Indian Ajinkya Rahane are all out. 3 wickets to Van der Houten, and a run out as well.
Mid-off, extra cover, deep cover, and a point in for the left-handed Slater, who flicks this one off the pads, but it's fielded by Kushi at short mid-wicket, and there's no run.
All academic if Notts don't win this, but if they do win this and Leicester lose, Notts would know their destiny. All they'd have to do is beat Warwickshire at Rugby School on Wednesday.
Oh, it's a given.
Well, Rob Yates will be missing. He'll be away on England Lions duty as well.
No slip in as Porter bowls. That's a thick outside edge, run down towards deep third man boundary for a single. There's a fielder out there, and there's 1 run to the total, 42 for 1.
That'll be a new venue. Notts have never been there. I've never been there, and again, we're talking about historical places, things that things have happened at. Of course, Rugby School, is it? William Webb Ellis said, "I'm sick of this football malarkey.
Sat on a ball.
I'll pick the ball up and run with it." Why the teacher didn't box his ears and say it's football, put it back on the ground, young man, we'll never know.
Porter full again. That's driven down mid-on. That's going to be 4 runs. Runs away. Lightning quick outfield. Blistering sunshine, really hard. And that's gone for 4. Just over pitched by Porter. And jumped on by the batsman McCann, and that's his first boundary of the afternoon.
Yeah, you talk about the outfield. It's in need of a drink, isn't it? We can see a few bare patches from here looking down. I guess most of the spectators would probably be unaware. They're obviously a little lower down, most of them, but we can see some bare patches.
46 for 1. Porter in again. That's a back of a length. It's clipped off the pads down towards deep mid-wicket for a single. 47 for 1. McCann goes to 6. Slater on 21. A few spectators just trying to get underneath the shade. It is really hot out. I felt that as I was walking from the car this morning. That was about 10:30.
Yeah, 10:30. Where'd you been for the previous 2 hours?
I was
in here for 8:30.
walking around Nottingham, just cleaning up after everyone. That was clipped into the leg side. There's no run. When I fill up the car, I've got a long journey home tonight. I thought I didn't want to do that just before to get away from here around about 7:30 this evening, depending on how long this game lasts. End of the over anyway. 11 overs gone, 47 for 1. And I'm quite impressed with the crowd. How many do you think there are in here at the moment?
5,000.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Can't see from here unless we still can't see it fully because downstairs the Radcliffe Road lower, of course we can't see full, but either side, the two wings here, the vantage points looking down there, pleasantly full, especially away to our right, which are right behind the bowler's arm. That's pleasantly full. We're going to get a bowling change. Ben Allison is going to come into the attack from the Stuart Broad end. Thanks to David for looking it up, and one or two of our correspondents. Ben Allison, a little lone spell with Worcestershire earlier in the season. Fatty Singh, they're not slow left arm spinners there at the moment, and got a career best 4 for on Friday. Here's Allison continuing the round the wicket assault, and again eased into the offside by McCann. This was sort of cut through extra cover rather than driven, which is Slater's preference, but there's protection out there now, just the one run.
What it feels like at the moment is that, I mean, this looks such a good pitch that the batsmen have got to get themselves out rather than the other way around.
Yeah. The other scores, Surrey 67 for 1 against Sussex, Warwickshire 40 for 1 against Yorkshire, Leicestershire now 59 for 4 against Glamorgan. I'll give you Group A in a moment. 48 for 1, pretty tight that group. This one presumably have been drifting down the leg side as Allison bowls a foolish delivery right into the pads of Slater, but looked to be angling down. Group A, Middlesex 38 for 4 against Somerset, so they might be on course for a Metrobank half-day cup match there. Middlesex 38 for 4. Lancashire 48 for 2 at Wantage Road against Northants. Hampshire 49 for 3 at Worcester, and Durham 55 for 1 down in Kent. Not sure if that's at Canterbury or Beckenham, so we'll have a little look. It's at Canterbury. The Knots have still got to go in the Championship. 48 for 1. This drive is
uppish.
Yeah, a little loose. He took one hand off the bat there, and it dropped short of Wesley at mid-off. Wasn't what he intended, clearly. And of course, Knots have still got to go to Chelmsford in the County Championship. That's beginning of September. 48 for 1. Always looking forward to that, and catching up with the BBC Radio Essex cast of 500. Dickie and Paul and Victoria and Don and David. This one was lifted over mid-wicket and away for 4. Probably missed 1 or 2 out there as well. A boundary for Slater, this time to that shorter side, and again he took the aerial route, lifted it over mid-wicket, comfortably clearing. Is that Nick Brown in there? And away for 4.
I think you've got Nick at the cast of characters.
Of course, yeah. Nick Gladhill, yeah. 52 for 1. 50 brought up. Slater with half of the 50s, 25 not out. And then a little push to mid-off, and he sends Freddie McCann back. So Allison into the attack. His first 5 balls have gone for 5 runs with that boundary.
Looking forward to the return of the County Championship. It could be quite an exciting end to the season, but obviously the chasing pack need Surrey to slip up.
Yeah, Knots have got to face them as well. Fortunately, they only faced Surrey once this season, and that's here at Trent Bridge. They've still got to play them. Next delivery is pushed into the offside, fielded by the bowler. So 5 from that over, so it's not too bad from Allison, just easing his way into his day's work. B. Allison, it says on the board, giving a distinction between him and Charlie, who's not in the squad. 52 for 1 after 12.
Do you think it's any coincidence that two of the top three that are chasing the county championship are right at the bottom of this one-day cup group?
I guess the reasoning behind that is because they're the successful counties with supposedly the best players, so the best players are picked up for the 100. That's how it tends to pan out. Also made the point, obviously, the 3 previous years of this, when the finals have been at Trent Bridge, have been won by, if you like, sides that historically have been amongst the trophy winners, but in recent years have sort of been down the pecking order, with Glamorgan, Kent and Leicestershire winning the last 3 incarnations of the one-day cup. And I guess those that like to see the trophies shared around will applaud that. Got a bowling change, and we've got some twirly-whirly stuff.
Yeah, so Wesley is going to have to be careful here, because the way he's spinning the ball to the left hand, he's got that short boundary to protect on the offside, and he's moving in now, right arm around, and that's driven back to the bowler, and there's no run. They've got a deep cover patrolling that boundary. I'm presuming there's a mid-off. Yep, there is, hidden away down to our right-hand side. There's a long on as well. There's a short mid-wicket, a deep square leg, and a fine leg as Wesley bowls. That one's clipped down the ground to that man at long off, and it'll just be a single to McCann. He goes to 8. 53 for 1 in the 13th here on BBC Essex, BBC Radio Nottingham. Essex won the toss and elected to field.
Leicester 59 for 5. Louis Kimber, formerly of this parish, recalled from the 100, out for naught.
Wesley in again, and that's just dabbed out into the offside. Extra cover comes round a field at cover, and there's a single to the total. McCann goes to 8. 54 for 1. Beautiful day here at Trent Bridge. It's around quite a lot of the country as well, as Wesley in again. That's flatter, and that's guided out towards point for a single. 55 for 1. McCann goes to 9.
Yes, I think through April and May and June we sort of wondered if we were ever going to get any signs of summer, but it's not been too bad in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Wesley 21 on his back, tosses that one up. Oh, that one does turn. Beats the outside edge of the bat. Slater propping forward, and taken nicely by Fernandez. Whipped off the bails, but Slater did not move out of his crease.
As I say, you only have to look at the outfield here for evidence of that. It only takes a day or two of rain for it to turn back verdant green, but there are bare patches at the moment.
Wesley short off the back foot. That's cut down towards backward point for a single. 1 run to finish the over. Nottinghamshire are 57 for 1. Correction, 56 for 1 after 13. Yeah, there's a few scorched patches. Same down at Essex, actually. Don't know how much you'd have to water this outfield to keep it lush green.
Yes, as I say, a day or two of rain, it'll soon sort it out. All Essex's matches this year at Chelmsford again?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Home matches. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
You know, because over the years there's been, well, all sorts of different places, of course, going back in time. But
we don't have outground matches these days, and in fact,
it's a shame in a way, because it's quite a large county.
Huge shame. Yeah. Middlesex have played a couple of outground
of course,
games at
that's right.
Chelmsford this year.
Allison to bowl his second over. Bowls to Ben Slater, cuts this to backward point, no run.
I can't remember who I was speaking to the other day. They were talking about the finances of putting on those outground games. It was surprisingly expensive.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. How's the? I don't know if you're aware. I mean, how the attendance has been for Middlesex's home matches then at Chelmsford. Have people travelled? Have Essex supporters gone along and had a look because it's cricket?
I don't know. I wasn't there for either of them. I think a few people did go. I'm not sure.
Slater on 27. Drive, and that's a good stop at backward point, or deepish gully by Zafaros Kushi. Good stop, young man, who I actually saw turn arm over before play started with the bowling coach. Fairly high off spin action. Seemed to be getting a decent amount of purchase. I don't know if that was just well, I'll have a little bowl, or whether it was with any great intention of having a lengthy spell today if required.
Well, to be fair, Essex have got enough bowlers in their side, so I can't imagine he'll be needed.
McCann's on strike on 9, and that was on his pads, just turns it onto the leg side. There's no run. Nick Brown again doing the fielding. Brown, Cushy, Wesley, Das, Benkenstein, Thane, Fernandez, the keeper, Allison, Snater, Jamal Richards, who we haven't seen yet, and Porter make up the visitors lineup in a very attractive purple top. Been a number of different colours worn by Essex over the years, like this one, as McCain plays this up to mid-on. Not predominantly green and gold or gold and green over the years, different incarnations of the stripes and the hoops and the halves and all sorts of different things. This one is predominantly all green with the gold sleeves and gold names and numbers. Light aeroplane. No, it's not, it's a helicopter, I beg its pardon. Just makes its way over the ground. 57 for 1. McCain again, just very watchfully pushes it back to the bowler. He's been a little bit see ball, hit ball as he's got involved in this competition at the top of the order, maybe with an eye on trying to make the most of those power play orders, and partially might have been part of the thinking in dropping him down to number 3. You do have time to build an innings and have a little bit of a look. Flails this one away out of the reach of Cushy this time, and he'll push hard. He's quick between the pegs, comes back for a second, and that's the end of another very good over from Charlie Ellison. 3 from it. 59 for 1 knots after 14 overs. 1 wicket to go down the start of the 9th over. Jack Haynes caught behind by the keeper Fernandez from the bowling of Porter for 17.
They're not racing away with this at the moment, Nottinghamshire, but plenty of wickets in hand. Wesley going to continue from the Radcliffe Road end. I'm presuming Benkenstein will come on from the Stuart Broad end with his leg spin, taking the ball away from that, certainly from the left-handers, away from that short boundary on the offside. Here comes Wesley, bowls, and that's clipped off the pads down towards short backward square leg for a single. 60 for 1. Just happy to accumulate at the moment, aren't they, Nottinghamshire? There's no real loose or rash shots going after the boundary, hitting the odd bad ball to the ropes. There hasn't been too many of those. It's just what looks like a really good pitch out there, so if they can post a score towards and above 300, Essex will find that difficult. That's a reverse sweep down towards that, well, it's the 3rd backward point boundary. There's a sliding stop attempted, but it gets over the boundary rope, and a lovely reverse sweep all along the floor, beats the fielder at point as well. And there's a boundary to the total, 4 to the total, and the score moves on to, and that's on neither screen, which is helpful.
It's the first sort of unorthodox shot we've seen today. I'm sure there'll be plenty more.
64 for 1. Wesley in on that one, just kicks up, and it's actually well ridden by the batsman, who's McCann. 15 off 21 for him. 64 for 1, and guided down towards short third man for no run.
Yeah, Notts made their way to 125 after 25 overs on Friday, and still got up to 332.
That's a reverse sweep in the air this time, or it's over the man at backward point, and the third man who was running round but couldn't prevent the boundary rope from the ball from hitting the boundary rope. It's Jamie Porter chasing round. It was looped tantalisingly between the two, and then it just raced away as it span off the ground for 4 runs. 68 for 1.
So now you're looking for the Essex response. Right, we know he likes to play the reverse. We know he's got a couple of boundaries there. Is he going to keep... he's kept those 2 fielders there, so if McCann wants to do it again, if he just lifts it, the boundary's open again.
Doesn't this time. He cracks it square on the offside. There's a fielder out there down at deep cover for a single. 69 for one. Yeah, it's interesting fielding positions. That's a backward point and a third man that's wider than the conventional third man, and they're around about 10-15 yards from each other.
Yeah, but the exuberance of youth, he knew they were there and he's taking it on.
Wesley in again, and this one's clipped away into the leg side. I've lost that
no,
one. Oh, it's gone out towards cover.
I thought it was as well.
So he played the shot into the leg side, probably a thick outside edge that ran down towards deep cover for a single. End of the over. That is 15 overs gone, I believe. Yep, 15 overs gone. And the score is 70 for one for Nottinghamshire.
Yeah, 11 from that over. So most productive over of the innings so far for the home side. Ben Slater on 30. Freddie McCann getting his innings up and running really there in that over. He's on 20 now from 24, and they've added 30 between them. Hasib Hamid's been coming in at 4, the captain. Lyndon James at 5, and then if they're looking still to build the innings, it'd probably be Matthew Montgomery. If they're looking to just increase the tempo, up the ante a little bit, it'd probably be Tom Moores and Liam Patterson-White. Just waiting for somebody in red. Looks to be an official sort of t-shirt, that. Running up the steps front of the pavilion there, right behind the bowler's arm. But that person now sits down. Allison to Slater. Continues on his merry way, playing this out onto the offside. Essex have been Eagles, haven't they, in various incarnations. I think they're just Essex in this competition. 50 overs a side, remember. No bowler can bowl more than 10 overs in their allocation. As we enter Sunday afternoon, and Freddie McCann forces a square of the wicket on the offside for another single. Essex have got up until 2:30 to bowl all of their overs. Generally find that's ample time, really. 3.5 hours to bowl 50 overs. And very often the umpires, especially on a hot day, will let them take sort of a 5-minute time out for drinks after 25 overs, and an extra 5 minutes will be added on. Slater back on strike on 31. 2 singles from the first 2 balls of the over, and there's another one, and all 3 singles have come square of the wicket on the offside, so that might be a gap worth plugging. 73 for one now, Notts. At Brace Cricket, if you want to get in touch in the old Twittery thing, X thing, or if you'd like to send an email, essexcricket@gmail.com.
BBC Essex Cricket at gmail.com.
I was close. Forgot the BBC. Forgot the important bit. Allison bowls, and again, fairly square of the wicket on the offside. Truth, this one just in front of square, but it's a similar area. Allison's dropped 4 balls there, and Notts have taken 4 singles. And whether Allison and Captain Westley are happy about that, we'll never know. But they're not taking steps to plug that gap. They might be content just to see Notts turning it over at 6 and over at the moment, or they may not. 74 for one. 5th ball of the over. Past umpire Harris bowls, and he's gone on the leg side and was looking towards the stand, but he clearly didn't get hold of it because he just clothed it straight along the ground to Nick Brown, who's at mid-wicket but well inside the 30-yard circle. He's probably only 20 yards back. So a dot ball, clear blue skies. Really struggle to make a case for seeing a single cloud anywhere. It's as good as we've had this summer. Now Slater into the offside and runs into the bowler. There'll be apologies there. The British way. Sorry mate, they'll both have said that at the same time. Ran into the bowler. He was looking where the ball had gone. The bowler was looking where the ball had gone, and they collided, but no mishaps. Slater will keep strike. 5 singles and a dot from that over. 75 for one. Allison 3 overs, none for 13. We're through 16 overs. Here, the BBC bringing you as it has done for many, many years now, every ball of every competition, and will continue to do so for as long as you want us to do so, or at least until the end of the season, when I guess there'll be suggestions about doing it going forward. 75 for 1.
So Nottinghamshire happy to accumulate at this moment as Wesley comes in. Radcliffe Road end, right arm round, and that was a big swipe into the leg side. It's careered into the pads, it goes nowhere. It's going down the leg side, so there's no appeal. 75 for 1. 17th over here on BBC Essex, BBC Radio Nottinghamshire. Wesley in, gives it a loopy and a bit of turn outside the offside. That one definitely turned. Left-hander trying to swipe it away into the offside, and ball moved prodigiously away to his right, taken by the wicket-keeper, bails off as well, but batsman in his crease. Umpire's just coming across to make sure that the bails are set properly back on the stumps, and Wesley just has to wait. 75 for 1. Wesley bounds in, and that's defended into the offside, and there's no run. Essex in their purple shirts, dark blue trousers. They want another breakthrough here. I don't want these two settling. McCann 22 off 26 and Slater 33 off 43, so not going at a million miles an hour. That was driven down the ground. It's a chase on here for a second run. The throw comes in. It will be 2 runs to the total. 77 for 1.
Is Harmer away with South Africa or with the 100?
That's a good question, actually. I haven't been paying any attention whatsoever to the 100. But
Dane Patterson's away with South Africa in the Caribbean at the moment.
Wesley flatter this time, driven down the ground again. There's a chase around the boundary here for the man from cover. The throw comes in. He's done well there to reduce them to just the single. 78 for 1.
Sam Cook away, of course. Adam Rossington.
Yeah, I think Essex are missing 5 or 6 players from their usual starting 11. Out with the 100. Would have been 7 had Dan Lawrence not moved to Surrey. Round the wicket, Wesley bowls. Big swipe in the air, and that again beats the fielder as well. It does. A big bounce, carried it over, and 4 runs. So a risky shot, but he gets his reward for it. 36 off 45 now for Slater, and 82 for 1. Again, just over that fielder who's fielding at the conventional sort of backward point area, and the reverse sweep just takes it over his head and past the man on the boundary too. End of the over. That's 19 overs gone. Sorry, 17 overs gone, and it's 82 for 1.
Yeah. 3 sides have already lost 5 wickets today. Middlesex 48 for 5. They're at home to Somerset. When I say at home, will that be at Radlett? Let's have a little look. No, they are playing at Lords. Middlesex and Somerset is at Lords today. Middlesex 48 for 5 against Somerset. Hampshire 5 down at New Road against Worcester. Here's Allison round the wicket poles, and Slater again driving into the offside. Will be fielded on the fence. A couple of runs to Ben Slater. Yeah, Hampshire 71 for 5 at New Road, and Leicestershire again 78 for 5 at home to Glamorgan. Never really know what you're going to get with the 50 over competition this season, with the composition of the sides. Slater has 36, and now he's got some more, as for the first time he really does put back to ball with menace and lifts it into the Smith Cooper stand and away for 6. It is the short side, but that was soaring away into the upper reaches, and on most grounds that would have probably gone for 6. Ball has been looked at, inspected by the crowd. They return it. It's looked at and inspected by the umpire, and the 50 partnership brought up with that blow from Ben Slater, who moves to 44. Allison in again to Slater, and back in watchful mode. He cuts this to backward point, fielded by Coochie. 90 for 1 midway through the 18th. Slater 44. McCann 26. He's going along at just about a run a ball. 50 partnership from 56 now. Say on Friday, Notts were 125 after 25. And got to 3-3-2 with some fine hitting in the second half of the innings. Looks like they're setting their stall out for a similar sort of day. 90 for 1 it remains as it's cut to backward point, but of course 3-3-2 wasn't enough on here on Friday as Miles Hammond came to play and clocked up 150 for Gloucestershire. Neverest 332 looked such an inadequate score. Real chance for some of the Essex players to cash in the second half of the day. This is elegantly driven to mid-off. We've seen Nick Brown on this ground in the past get some big runs. Tom Westley too. He's had county championship centuries here over the years. One ball left in the over. 2 under 6 from the bat of Slater and remains on 44. Listen, bowls to him. Slater advances and cuts it out to the offside sweeper. Shane Snater single. 9-0. Those of you following us with the live pictures through Trent Bridge Live, thanks to Kirsty and Aaron looking after the graphics and the replays and everything else on the production side, and thanks to the camera crew all around Trent Bridge on a very warm day bringing you the pictures. Looks like we've got a bowling change,
yeah,
David.
well, we are going to see Feroz Coochie. Just marking out his run up now. Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen him bowl.
Well, I've seen him bowl extremities around about 10:30 with the Essex bowling coach, and it was a very tall, high action. Don't think I've ever been close enough in his company to look at the length of his fingers, and that's not as bizarre a statement as it might have been, but it just seemed like he was bowling at the end of his fingers. Seemed like he got long fingers, which is ideal.
He's in now. It's short and wide. That should have been put away. It's found the fielder at a backward point, and there's no run. 91 for 1 in the 19th.
It's great, I think, as a spinner, if you have got long fingers, isn't it? You can
wrap your
get more
fingers
purchase on it. Yeah.
Coochie in again round the wicket to the left-hander, and the batsman backs away. What's happened there?
Dead ball.
Someone moving behind the bowler's arm. Coochie back again. Past the umpire, bowls. Stops almost as he gets to the crease. That one's cracked down the ground to long off for a single. 92 for 1. Haven't seen anything yet that suggests that he's going to be too much of a threat to the batsman. I think just trying to find his length at the moment.
Cue the fifer.
Yeah. Well, Nottinghamshire are on course to get 125 in their 25 overs. If they're going at the current rate, that's defended into the offside.
Yeah, I'm you know, like I say, I'm only making a comparison with Friday here, and that's the way they went about their business. 125 from 25 and ended up with 320 odd, but it wasn't enough.
Coochie gives that one some more air. That one's carved down towards deep cover. It'll just be a single. 93 for 1. Just being a bit cautious against Coochie at the moment. No big shots so far.
It's a wicket that if you racked up here as a batter, you'd think, well, I'll have a bit of that. But as a bowler, you suspect you're going to be in for a little bit of hard work.
Coochie just checks his field. And he's in again now. Bowls. And that's backing away to the leg stump off the back foot. Again, just picking out the fielder at deep cover. It'll be a single. 94 for 1. Yes, Coochie skips up to the crease. He almost stops as he's about to bowl it. A few paces in, stops and then bowls. Full, driven down the ground. It's going to be a single as well. 95-1. We've got through his over quickly, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he's only gone for 4.
Yeah.
Skipper Tom Westley, I would imagine, would be delighted with that. Have another one, young man, I'm sure he's just said. 95 for 1.
Benkenstein's still not been asked to bowl just yet. I wonder if that's because there's 2 left-handers at the crease. I don't know.
I can actually see 1 rogue cloud. Oh, actually 2 rogue clouds, 1 on either side, but they're just a blot on the landscape, if you like.
Is it my eyes, or is it a little bit glary out there?
Yeah, I fancy it might be. We've got another bowling change, joint change now. Jamal Richards, who is a young man that not seen play before, but I do remember he was 12th man at Chelmsford last year, and he spent some time on the field as a fielding sub. I enjoyed his athleticism as a fielding sub last year in the game down there, but it's the first time I've seen him. Fairly lengthy approach, athletic approach, comes into bowl to Freddie McCann, who just cuts his first ball. Surprise, surprise, square of the wicket on the offside for 1.
He's got a lot of promise, Jamal Richards. It's quick.
Local boy through the youth system.
Yeah, did I first see him? Was it last year or the year before? Perhaps the year before. But yeah, like you say, very athletic.
Slater has 47, made from 54 deliveries. When he get the loosener he wants, he'll again completely did me there. As David just said, it is a bit glary. He went to play that in one of his favourite target areas out onto the offside, and I was instantly drawn to that side of the field, but now he dragged it up to mid-on.
I think the problem is because it's so bright out there, the sunlight's almost shining off the pitch, and it's actually difficult to pick up the ball once it's been bowled.
Richards past the umpire, bowls, and this is
out.
Cut to Kushi at backward point, and Jamal Richards has got the wicket, and Ben Slater won't get a half century. There was a gasp of disbelief from the home supporters as Ben Slater, who's been known for churning out runs, masses of runs in this competition over the last 2 or 3 seasons, has gone caught by Kushi at backward point, playing obviously uppishly from the bowling of Jamal Richards. 96 for 2.
Yeah, bit of a nothing one, that one. I actually thought it was a bump ball initially. It was taken so casually by Kushi. Comfortably taken at backward point. And yeah, Ben Slater will be disappointed there. 3 short of his half century. Good knock from Slater. 47 off 56. But Nottinghamshire lose their 2nd wicket. Essex will be pleased with that, because that partnership was just starting to build nicely for the Outlaws. They'll have to start to build again. Ben Slater getting a nice round of applause from the, I would say, fairly healthy crowd that are in today.
Yeah.
Big crowd, obviously, so it looks a little bit more sparse than maybe it would do if this amount of people turned up at Essex.
It's the captain, Nasib Hamid, making his way out to the middle. I almost felt I was due to go and make an apology to Nasib Hamid after Friday, because it maybe came across that I was laying the blame of the defeat at his door, but what I will say is he played a typical Nasib Hamid innings. It was wonderful to watch on Friday. Got to 104 and then danced down the track and was stumped by a country mile. And it's all well and good then if, OK, the wicket has gone, 10 overs to go, in comes 6, 7, 8, 9, bang, 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 bang. But there was nothing for a while, and then a wicket, and then nothing for a wicket, and they'd have got more than 330 if Haas had taken the responsibility. Right, I've got my 100, I'll stay here till the end of the innings. When I'm on strike, if it's a bad ball, I'll try and hit it for 2 or 4. If it's a good ball, I'll work it away for 1, because he's that good a player, and let the fireworks come from the other end. But to see him stranded well out of his crease stumped was, I thought, a real shame. And I think it's wrong to be critical of somebody who scored 100, but there were plenty more for him. And again, it was a phrase I used the other day. Left a few out there, left a lot out there, I thought. Runs this just a backward of square on the offside. Kushia took that comfortable catch, does the fielding, and there's no run. 96 for 2, but in this year's competition, Hasib Hamid 101 not out against Sussex, 32 against Yorkshire, 89 against Glamorgan. The one failure really, 7 at Guildford, and then 105, it was 105 not 104 against Gloucestershire on Friday. So you're as good as your recent innings, as they say. Oh, and he's gone for naught. Well, there you are. The other saying is that you start afresh in your next innings, and he's lost his off stump. Terrific bit of bowling from Richards, and is that the over that's completely changed the complexion of the day? Because he's picked up a couple of wickets. He's got 2 for Spit in that over, and Notts from 96 for 1 and 96 for 3.
Lovely delivery, always nice for a fast bowler to see that off stump cartwheeling out the ground. As I said, he's quick, Jamal Richards. I reckon he's even quicker probably off the surface than he appears as he's running. He's all action run up. Legs seem to be going like a million miles an hour, whirring away, fresh in his innings. And Essex get a couple of wickets in an over. Suddenly, they've got Nottinghamshire on the back foot a little bit.
They have indeed. Lots of...
Maybe he had your criticism still ringing in his head,
no.
Dave. The poor lad.
It's not criticism, but you know what I'm saying. And I guess people would see where I'm... Well, I hope people would see where I'm coming from. He's too good a player to be stranded out of his crease, stumped. There's no need, really, no requirement for a Hasib Hamid to be dancing out the track, trying to smash sixes over long on and long off. Get it away and let the likes of Tom Moores and Liam Patterson-White. But he just got all churned up and messy for a bit. Notts were in a good position even then, and to get to 3-3-2, yeah, it's a good score. But I think had he stayed to the end, I think Notts would have put, got 360, 370 comfortably, and probably put it out of the reach of Gloucestershire. As it is here, 96 for 3. Richards 2 for 1. 5 balls to Montgomery. Very capable top order batter. I'm sure we'll see him bowling a little bit of off spin as well later on. Comes in at number 5.
So he's got one ball left in the one legitimate ball left in the over.
Yeah.
Can Jamal Richards get a third?
Great sight to see that off stump cartwheeling out of the ground. He bowls to Matthew Montgomery, and he's just watched it onto the face of the bat and guides it down to third for a single. So 2 for 2 in that over, and Jamal Richards has announced himself on the Trent Bridge faithful with a terrific debut over. 97 for 3 after 20.
Water out of cans. Very nice, strange concept. But I'm guessing we're going to see a lot more of it. So lots of families here, obviously a family day. Kids are getting all restless. What are they, 2 or 3 weeks into their summer holidays?
Yes, I'm not sure what the pricing was today, but a nice cheap, relatively cheap day at the cricket.
Kushi into the right-handed Montgomery, tries a reverse sweep, misses out. The wicketkeeper takes the ball behind the stumps. There's no run. 97 for 3. We're in the 21st over of Nottinghamshire's innings. As Kushi dances in full this time, carved away down towards deep cover. There's a chase on here. I think the ball's going to get to the boundary. Slide comes in. It does. Just about. It was a good effort. I think that's Shane Snater down there sliding across the boundary rope. Unfortunately, he got the ball. His legs were already over the boundary, and he dragged the ball over anyway. And it's 4 runs to the total. First boundary off Kushi's bowling. 101 for 3. Also brings up the 100 for Nottinghamshire.
Yes, does indeed.
Essex have slowed them down a touch with those 2 wickets and a couple of tight overs, but that's boundary releases some of the pressure. Full toss this time, and that's swept away. I think that's going to be 4 runs as well. It's past the man at short fine leg, and boundary just forced Kushi to do something a little bit different. And he just over-pitched it with the full toss and helped along its way by Montgomery. He goes to 9 off 4, 105 for 3.
Yes, of the cricketers I watch on a regular basis, I would say there's only Ben Duckett likes a reverse sweep more than Matthew Montgomery. He will go to that option as often as he can, already we've seen a perfect execution of it, away for 4. He's made a fast start.
Kushi in again. What's he coming up with this time? 4, and that one's missed out there from the batsman. Big swipe outside the off-stump. I presume a bit of turn. I can't quite see from up here, but keeper takes the ball behind the stumps and there's no run. 105 for 3. A couple of runs. A throw comes in. It's good running actually from this Nottinghamshire pair, because Slater was there quickly, picked the ball up around about 15-20 yards inside the boundary, but he couldn't stop the second run from happening. 107 for 3. Montgomery 11 off 6. Started to tick the scoreboard over. It's off the back foot. It's going to be a single down towards deep mid wicket. 108 for 3. And that's the end of the over. 21 overs gone in Nottinghamshire's innings. 108 for 3. Just a bit more action in that over from the batsman.
And I've definitely seen, you know, the more you look, the more you see. I've definitely seen a thanks for Rose. Have a blow, mate. Yeah. And whoever this is down below us is going to bowl the next over from this end, because he's pointed to him and pointed this end and turned his arm over the skipper. So there will be a bowling change at this end. 108 for 3.
I think it's going to be Ben Allison back on.
So Kushi 2 overs for 15. 6 bowlers have been used so far. Jamie Porter 6 overs, 1 for 26. Shane Snater 5 overs, none for 21. Give you the rest in a moment. Jamal Richards to continue from the broad end, and Montgomery will get some. Might have been some bat involved. There's 2 certainly to the total. Went quite a way. Yeah, there was some bat involved. It wasn't clean. I think it was bat and pad, but 2 more. Allison 4 overs, none for 22. Tom Wesley had 3 overs, none for 22. Kushi 2 overs, none for 15, and now Richards, the start of his second over, 2 for 2 in his first. Montgomery's quickly got to 14, make that 15 as he plays it. They're going to come back for 2 again, and once more he's shaped up to play that onto the offside. Throw was a little bit feisty, and Noah Fane backing up prevented overthrows.
Does seem to be rushing the batsman a little bit more, Jamal Richards. A few full shots so far.
Well, there's pace there, isn't there? There's lots to admire about the young man. And he comes. There's black screens behind him, black tarpaulins, as Montgomery plays this onto the leg side. 113 for 3. In the same group as these two, Surrey 107 for 3 after 20 against Sussex. Warwickshire 87 for 3 against Yorkshire. Leicestershire now 105 for 6 against Glamorgan. In the other group, Middlesex 73 for 5 against Somerset. Lancashire 93 for 4 against Northants. Hampshire 90 for 5 against Worcestershire. And Durham 126 for 3 against Kent. All the scores, all the updates, and the little tidbits as the day goes along on the BBC Sport website and app. As McCain, who's not seen much of a strike lately, McCann, I beg his pardon, cuts this to Kushi at backward point. Chip off the old block, McCain. 113 for 3. It's Freddie McCann. He's been starved of the strike, hasn't he? He was at the non-striker's end, obviously, for the last Richards over when Slater and Hamid fell. And then Matthew Montgomery came in and monopolised the last over. Richards to Freddie McCann, cuts this think down into the ground and bounced up, and Kushi got rather more of his fingernail on it than he would have wanted, because he's wringing his fingers. Ouch, that hurt, he would have said to anybody who was listening. Single taken.
I wonder if that's caught him just on the wrist, which is very, very painful if anyone has ever taken a cricket ball on the wrist.
Yeah.
He's wringing his hand out there. It'll be a bit sore and numb. He'll do a lot of flexing, just trying to get the, yeah, it's caught him just between the thumb and that wrist bone. Is it the ulna?
Oh, there we go. 114 for 3. Nicely played. Montgomery started this one in reasonable touch. Gets a single. He's had a very meagre return from his 4 innings in this competition so far. 3, 4, 9 and 38. Didn't play on Friday, but he's on 18. McCann is on 30, and after 22 overs, Notts are 115 for 3. Haynes made 17, Slater 47. Hasib Hamid today out in a flash without scoring.
Yeah, interesting. It's not going to be Ben Allison. No. It's going to be Jamie Porter back on. He's got 3 overs to go and he's 10. I presume he'll bowl them all in this little period. Maybe the captain sensing that this is the time to put a little bit more pressure on the Nottinghamshire batsmen, try and squeeze 1 or 2 more wickets out before they take that drinks break. Well, 23 overs at the start of this one. BBC Essex, BBC Radio Nottinghamshire, myself, David Brett and Dave Bracegirdle. If you want to get in touch with us, BBC Essex cricket@gmail.com. As that one's defended into the offside. Right over to the right-handed bat, and that's cover the field. Sorry, BBC Essex cricket@gmail.com. If you want to get in touch with us. No run, 115 for 3, and your Twitter handle?
@BraceCricket.
@BraceCricket. Still, if the weather's like this back down south, I guess there's quite a few people out in the gardens today, tending to their plants. I even remember to water my plants before I left on Saturday morning as a Porter bowls. That one's clipped into the leg side, there's no run.
There might be 1 or 2 more in the beer garden.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. 115 for 3. Yeah, I guess there is a few the same around here as well in Nottinghamshire. I bet you've got some lovely country pubs out this way.
Yeah.
Porter charging in, bowls full, clipped away to the leg side, not timed though. And Benkenstein, who hasn't given the ball yet to bowl with, fields at short mid wicket. And there's no run. 115 for 3.
Ball, by the way. I thought it was 3 balls. It was second ball duck for the Notts skipper today.
Yeah, off stump cartwheeling out the ground from Jamal Richards, who's bowled really well in his 2 overs so far. 2 overs, no maidens, 2 for 9, as that one's played down the ground and fielded by Nick Brown.
Still
dot ball.
Still some batting to come. Lyndon James, Tom Moores, Liam Patterson-White, all very capable. Calvin Harrison on Friday looked, well, it looked like a player who hadn't played any cricket for 5 weeks, and that's exactly what had happened. He's just been carrying the drinks in the 100. He got a duck with the bat, and then Rob Lord and Luke Fletcher.
Porter running in, and that's defended into the offside. They'll run through for a quick single shot at the stumps, but they're comfortably in. It's Kushi doing the fielding at cover. One run to the total, 116 for 3. Tidy over so far from Porter. Is it just the 1 run off it? Yeah, just the 1 run off it. 1 legitimate delivery left.
Yeah, that was one of those throws where you're probably grateful you don't hit the stumps, because there was only Nick Brown backing up. He was in the perfect position to back up, but I think the run was always going to be completed, so had it just clipped the stumps, it might well have deflected away for overthrows.
Porter bowls, and that's defended down. A decent over. No run off the last ball. 1 run off the over in its entirety. 116 for 3, and we have had 23 overs of Nottinghamshire's innings.
It's a contest you fancy that has just taken a different direction to the one that it was going in. Notts were building momentum and were nicely poised at 96 for 1, and then those 2 wickets in the over from Jamal Richards, well, it's not only brought Essex right back into it, it's momentum. It means that the home side have had to just have a reassess and go again, but Matthew Montgomery's got off to a start here, 19 from 16, he's on strike. But, it's this high, maybe on the stickers of the bat, right at the top of the bat, up to mid-off, so there's no run. 6 bowlers used then by the visitors. Very rare that nowadays you see just 5 bowlers used and they'll have 10 overs apiece. All the county sides like to go in with plenty of options. 6, 7, 8 bowlers at times all seem to be used. Captains like to have a number of different options at their disposal. Richards bowls again. Montgomery will turn this to mid-wicket. Not enough pace on it to go to the ropes, but Snater's still got work to do and a comfortable couple. 118 for 3. Montgomery on 21, and just as an example of how he's monopolised the strike and the scoring since he came in, he's on 21 and they've put on 22 together. Richards from the far end, the pavilion end of the ground, now named Stuart Broadend, as his next delivery is turned to mid-wicket and there's no run. Notts finish at Rugby School on Wednesday against Warwickshire. Essex one to come. We'll have a look.
Good question. I thought this was their final game, but I could be wrong.
Essex
No, Sussex.
finish at Hove on Wednesday. It's a nice way to bow out. Richards bowls. This is tickled down to long leg for a single. 119 for 3. Which of the crews got that one? Do you know? That's
I have no idea.
Nice little trip.
I mean, it would have been a nice way to bow had Essex got anything to play for. But yeah, nice ground. Down there for the T20. Was it a few weeks ago where Michael Pepper scored that extraordinary 100?
Oh, yeah.
Essex won the game from what looked like a very, very much a losing position.
Like Hove, especially if the sun's shining. McCann on 30. He's back on strike now, and this one's beaten him outside the off stump. It was a full pitch delivery from Richards, and McCann trying to chop down on it, trying to open the face and guide it away, but it's through into the gloves of Fernandez.
Yeah, if you go down there at the height of summer, the whole crowd seems disgustingly healthy.
Yeah.
Tanned, happy.
Yeah, it's always a popular away trip. Final ball of the 24th over, and lifted into the offside. That might challenge Snater. He's going to reel it in. 2 more from Freddie McCann. Takes him to 32, and it's 121 for 3 after 24 overs. So not so roughly in terms of runs where they were on Friday. They were only 1 down at that stage, and then pushed on. Got some real momentum in the second half of the innings, and as I was just mentioning when Hasib Hamid was there, he went to a very stylish century, and then there were plenty of runs left to be had when he came down the track and got stumped. Notts lost a little bit of late order momentum.
Porter from the Ratcliffe Road end. Nice tight over last time. Montgomery advances down the pitch but can only defend the ball into the leg side, and it's fielded by Benkenstein at short mid-wicket, and there's no run. 121 for 3 here on BBC Essex and BBC Radio Nottinghamshire. And Porter's been economic since he's come back on. Just the 1 run off the 7 balls so far, and he'll bowl out his allotted 10 overs, I suspect, in this little spell as Porter moves in again. Full this time. That's crashed away through the offside, but it'll only be a single down towards deep cover. Snater fields. 122 for 3.
A lot of spinners at Notts' disposal. The slow left armour of Liam Patterson-White, the leg spinner of Calvin Harrison, the off spin of Matthew Montgomery and Freddie McCann. So Fateh Singh has been allowed to join Worcestershire on loan for this competition. He's picked up a lot of wickets, got 4 on Friday. He's just come into the attack and has picked up the wicket of Hampshire's Toby Albert. Hampshire 92 for 6.
Porter round the wicket to the left hand. That's pulled away into the leg side. It's not timed though, and it falls short of the man at deep mid wicket. It's Shane Snater running round. It's the left-handed Montgomery. Sorry, correction, the left-handed McCann. He goes to 33, 123 for 3.
T's been in touch, one of my regulars. Dave, 1 over, my radio dropped out on my walk back from the shop. It was a real shock when the signal returned. I think we can blame you, T. And apologies for the radio dropping out. Don't think it was at our end.
Porter bowls, and that's defended down the pitch, and there's no run.
Yes, 2 wickets going down in within the space of 3 deliveries. Ben Slater is a little bit of a surprise to everybody when he just helped Richards fresh into the attack, into the hands of Cushy at backward point. looked a bit of a soft one. Slater out for 47, and if that was a blow for Notts, 2 deliveries later, the off stump of their captain, Hasiba Mead, fresh from a century on Friday, was sent cartwheeling by the pacey Richards.
Porter up to the stumps, bowls full, keeps it to the leg side. There's no run. So good again, another tidy over here. How many runs off it so far? Just the single. 2 runs. Sorry, 2 off 5. And I think at the moment these 2 batsmen just looking to respectfully see Porter out, and then perhaps take on whatever comes on to replace him at the Radcliffe Road end. Porter coming now, last legitimate ball of the over, up to the stumps, bowls, and that's defended down towards short third man. It's going to be no run. End of the over, 2 runs off it at 123 for 3, and I think that's going to be drinks.
Yeah. Being brought out by Essex 12th and 13th men for the fielding sides in those red bibs. I think there was an accusing glare a little earlier on in the innings by Ben Slater when somebody in a red bib was moving behind the bowler's arm. We imagine it would have been one of the Essex squad players then, because they're a bit of a giveaway, those red bibs. Drinks are brought out as well for Freddie McCann and for Matthew Montgomery, and I hope somebody's got, yeah, they've got drinks as well for the umpires, which is always nice to see. Don't like it when especially on a hot day, you see all the players knocking back bottles of water or the protein shakes or whatever it is, the isotonic drinks, do they call it, when all the players are getting a nice quenching drink and the umpires are left to fend for themselves. At the moment they are stood on their own, but I'm sure the Notts 12th and 13th men brought drinks out for the umpires, or at least offered them some. 3 wickets to fall. First was Jack Haynes, who for the first time opened the batting for Notts today. They just flipped him and Freddie McCann around. Haynes was caught behind for 17. Wicketkeeper Fernandez pouching a decent low catch from the bowling of Jamie Porter. That was 40 for 1 in the 9th. And Ben Slater made his way to 47. It was the 20th over that Jamal Richards was introduced, and he got 2 wickets. Slater out. That was 96 for 2, became 96 for 3 when Richards then bowled Hasiba Mead. McCann is on 33 not out, made from 37 balls, and Matthew Montgomery 23 not out from 25. 123 for 3 at the halfway stage, and it is a fairly relaxed drink session. The Essex players, some of the Essex players actually down on the ground, just taking a moment or two just to sit down or lay down and relax.
Some emails coming in, thank you so much for those. bbcsexcricket@gmail.com. From Graham, Luke Benkenstein's not bowled in the last couple of matches, so didn't bowl, has bowled since Sunday against Glamorgan. That's the match that I saw. His figures were 4 overs, 0 for 25. He didn't bowl in the defeats against Yorkshire and Surrey in the last 2 games, so perhaps an injury, or just the fact that he's not bowling on form. Michael's been in touch. He says, good afternoon. This looks like a good batting track, so 600 runs. What do you think, Dave? You're the local.
I don't think Notts will get 600, but I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I mean, we have 330, played 330 on Friday, and neither side batted out their 50 overs. That was 660. You'd imagine there'll be a little bit of wear and tear in the wicket. Hot weather and what have you, but fast outfield, short boundaries. There'll only be 600 runs, of course, if Notts get 300, and at the moment they've got some work to do, but they are roughly where they were at this stage on Friday, although of course then they were only 1 wicket down. Michael's
been in touch. Sorry, just carrying on his email. Ben Allison will be at Worcestershire for the remaining 6 games of the County Championship season. They seem to like him there, so so we'll probably be playing for Notts in a couple of years' time, he says.
Hey.
Thanks, Michael. And Jerry's been in touch. I believe Simon Holmes got an issue with his back, so he's been rested for the Metro Bank series. Thanks, everyone, for getting in touch. bbcsexcricket@gmail.com.
There's Jamal Richards as we resume after that lengthy drinks break. First ball, beaten McCann on the outside, goes through to the keeper. Club cricket, you'd be saying, always a wicket after drinks, boys. There's always a wicket after drinks, along with plenty of other sledges. I hope Simon Harmer recovers quickly, but if he needs to take a little bit of time out between now and the end of the season, if he sits out the game at Chestnuts, it would 123 for 3. Again, it's astonishing how he's not in the South Africa side. In the Caribbean, as this is played up to mid-off and there's no run, unless it's injury that's ruled him out of that.
Yes, I know they don't play huge amounts of Test cricket in South Africa, but his Test appearances have been few and far between as well.
Like the look of young Master Richards.
Yeah, he's good. Every time I've seen him, I've only seen him 3 or 4 times, but he looks the part.
Tell you what I'm laughing at in a moment as he comes in again and bowls short and pulled onto the leg side. Didn't properly get hold of it, McCann, and it's ricocheted from mid-wicket to mid-on, and there's no run.
Going through a period at the moment, just with Porter on from the Radcliffe Road end and Jamal Richards bowling from the Stuart Broad end, where they're struggling to get runs on the board. When
Richards goes back, you see some bowlers that are absolutely finicky, if that's the word, over where they set off from, and they look down at their bowling mark and they make sure their feet are together and everything's all aligned before they set off. This one's short and dragged again onto the leg side to mid-wicket, and there's no run. But he just makes his way back, having delivered the ball, obviously, and he's walking back with the air of a man who's full of confidence and on top of the world. And somebody will lob the ball to him, and he gets it and doesn't seem to almost bother where his feet were. Oh, right, I've got the ball, I'll just wander up there a bit and then turn and run in. It doesn't seem to be overly precise about...
Perhaps the innocence of youth.
Yeah, exactly, and it's good. It's good. It's good. I think there's too many bowlers that really press that. Claiming a wicket, and he's gone. McCann has flashed at one outside the off stump, and Richards has got a third. Call it the innocence of youth, the precociousness of youth. Certainly the athletic and the ability of Jamal Richards has put Essex on top here as McCann goes caught behind for 33. Knots 123 for 4, and they've certainly got some ground to make up in the second half of this innings. Another good knock from Freddie McCann, and once again you say he's left some runs out there, still not reached 50, and once again he's had a good start, been well on the way. He's made 33 and then he's been caught behind.
Yeah, despite being out of the competition, no chance of qualifying for the quarter-finals, there's still individual pride to play for, and Jamal Richards has been bowling brilliantly so far this afternoon. That extra pace just troubling the Nottinghamshire batsmen. Even earlier in that over, 2 or 3 shots they tried to get off the square, just miscued with the ball coming onto the bat a little bit quicker than they might have expected. Jamal Richards looks really good at this stage of his career. Very early and a long way to go for him, but lots and lots of potential, both with bat and ball. So Essex will be happy that the 4th wicket has fallen, and just that bit of pressure from both ends has probably resulted in that wicket being taken, with Jamie Porter really turning the screw from the Radcliffe Road end, and Jamal Richards really attacking from the Stuart Broad end.
Yep, it's a good point actually. If runs aren't coming at the other end, you sort of tend to want to make the most of any opportunities at the other, and I'm sure Notts collectively will say that was a ball that Freddie was entitled to play at. It was wide of the off stump, but maybe just did him for pace again, and terrific stuff from McCann. Left-hander for left-hander. He's been replaced in the middle by Tom Morse, who had a very rapid 40 on Friday and then perished in the deep. Comes in with Notts needing a rapid 140 rather than a rapid 40. Let's see what he can do. Final ball of the 26th over. 3 wickets now for Richards, and he's got a slip in there with Nick Brown, and Tom Moores advances down the track to him and then pushes it back to the bowler, who's now through 4 overs and has the very impressive figures of 1 maiden, 3 for 14, wicket maiden, 123 for 4.
Yeah, he's certainly the standout bowler. He's made things happen from that Stuart Broad end. And the blistering sunshine and what looks like a pretty decent pitch, he's made the ball talk. He's lured the batsman in some false strokes, and taking the off stump out of the ground for Haseem Hameed.
Yeah, I guess the important thing for Notts here is to win this game, and I would have hoped that Leicestershire would lose today.
Porter from the Radcliffe Road end, full. driven into the offside. It's Das sliding falling to his left-hand side, can't stop that. Snater coming round from the boundary rope to field, just a single for the total, 124 for 4.
Worst possible thing is if other results go your way and you don't do the business yourself. That would be a concern for Notts supporters, I guess, right now. Still plenty of time here to put a good score on the board. Matthew Montgomery, Tom Moores, Lyndon James, Liam Patterson-White can all play, but at least one of those, you'd imagine, has got to get a half century and more, and potentially two of them have got to do that. They need ideally a century partnership.
Round the wicket to the left-hander as Moores comes dancing down the pitch. He defends that one into the leg side. Porter fields. There's no run. 124 for 4, but Moores trying to get out of his crease there. The ball can't be moving, surely not in this.
No, he does like to try and impose himself, get forward and just try and put the bowlers off their length. Second wicket for Fateh Singh. He's got rid of Felix Organ in that match at New Road between Worcestershire and Hampshire. Hampshire 99 for 7. I think they were second and third, those two sides.
Porter in again, bowls, and again Moores just covers up this time, doesn't advance down the pitch, just a regulation for defensive, and there's no run. 124 for 4. This will be the last over. Sorry, apologies, Jamie Porter's got one more to go after this.
Yeah, and you'd imagine now, as he's got to 9, that he would bowl out. The other option, I guess, would have been to save 2. Wouldn't really be fair on the bowler to save 1 for the death, would it?
Porter in bowls, and that tucks Moores up. Ball wrapping on the pads and out to the offside, and there's no run.
So Notts might just have to bite the bullet for the next couple of overs, see Porter off and see where that takes them. Got their hands full with Richards at the other end. 4 overs, 3 for 14. There's nobody really gone round the park.
3 men in the circle on the offside. There's also 2 men on the boundary. That's a short boundary out there as Moores defends this one down towards backward point, and there's no run. Again, a lovely tidy over this one from Porter. Just the 1 run off it so far, 1 legal delivery left.
Wesley and Coochie between them have bowled 5 overs for 37.
Essex just felt like they lost a bit of control in that period.
Either got to one or other or both have got to come back and complete that 5 over block, you'd imagine.
Porter in again, bowls, and that's defending to the leg side. They'll take a quick single, shy at the stumps. It hits the stumps, but the batsman comfortably in the crease. So end of the over, 2 runs off it, 125 for 4.
Yeah, and if you're going to hit the stumps, that's the way to hit them. Full, and so the ball just dies right by the base of them. Yeah, 125 for 4, another really impressive over from a very impressive player, Jamie Porter. He was the PCA Cricketer of the Year a number of years ago. That was a summer that he also made 1 or 2 test squads without ever getting that good news from the skipper and the coach just before the toss. You're in today, mate.
Yeah, it does look like his opportunity to play test cricket has passed now. Let's hope the same doesn't happen for Sam Cook. He's unfortunately injured for the middle part of the summer where he might have been picked.
Richards to Moores, drives into the offside, plenty of pace on that, and this will beat Snater. Did some good work out there today, Shane Snater. Saved a lot of runs, but unable to get anywhere near that one. Drilled into the offside by Tom Moores for his first boundary.
Yep, Fulham wide and dispatched. Of course, Jordan Cox has got the call up for the England Test squad as well. Be interesting to see. Obviously, I don't think he'll get a chance to play this time round, but you never know. Later in the series.
Only been 1-6 in this innings. That was hit by Ben Slater. 129 for 4. Moores again drives through the offside for 4. Really impressive stroke by Moores, back-to-back boundaries through the offside. Anything short, Moores, he will look to take on the pull of the hook shot towards that short side.
Essex have been really good at that, haven't they? They've protected that short boundary by bowling decent lines. Tom Moores here taking on the offside, which is the deepest boundary on the pitch.
Yes, he's an aggressive player. One of the Essex red bibs wanders across the bowler's arm at the far end. Here comes Richards. Stung for the first time really with a couple of boundaries off his bowling, but that's a better delivery. Fallen straight and Moore's happy to defend.
It feels like the kids these days are all aggressive batsmen,
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah.
Not backward in coming forward.
Essex have got a permitted 5 inside the ring, the 4 out, an even split, 2 on the leg side, 2 on the offside, and all the square or behind the wicket. Moores will get into a position to play this to leg, but instead just turns it back to the bowler. The increase in tempo is timely for Notts here. It's a better over, the most expensive one from Jamal Richards, 133 for 4.
Get a bit stuffy in here, Dave, isn't it? Heating up outside.
It's a warm day. Next delivery beats Moores on the outside, goes through to the keeper. The air conditioning seems to take forever to work, but of course it doesn't work if you've got the windows wide open, so it's always one of those in here. Do you zig or zag? And with the window open, I think it's a little bit more user friendly. Of course, if you shut the windows, it then does get a bit noisy as well. So the air conditioning really kicks in. 133 for 4. Umpire at the far end, Anthony Harris. As Moores cuts this out to Snater, there'll be a single. And 134 for 4 at the end of that over from Jamal Richards. He's through his 5 overs. Shane Snater, who fielded that, he bowled 5 overs, 1 maiden, none for 21 at the start, so there's plenty of overs left in his locker, but it is going to be Porter to bowl out. 134 for 4 after 28.
He's deserved to stay on as well. He's created the pressure from the Radcliffe Road end. Graham's been in touch. Currently Jamal's best bowling analysis in List A cricket. Previous best was 3 for 68 against Glamorgan Chelmsford this season. And Rob, just to preempt those 2 boundaries in the previous over, Jamal gets wickets but can be a trifle expensive. He's been all right so far today.
Been very impressive.
3 for 23 off 5 so far as Porter's in. That's driven down the ground. That's lovely. That's going to be 4. Brown's chasing it, but there's no need to. It was a lovely struck off the face of the bat. Run's starting to come now for Nottinghamshire.
Yeah. Tom Moore's full of beans out there in the middle. That's 3 boundaries in the last 6-7 balls that Tom Moores has received. Saw it from Matthew Montgomery as well when he was fresh at the crease. He's going along at just a touch under a run of ball, 24 from 26.
138 for 4. Porter, last over of the day for him, and he gets Moores just jumping on the crease, defending that into the leg side. And there's a dot ball. No run. A couple of kids just chasing each other down the gangway there. Probably trying to get down for the ice cream, cool themselves down. Lovely way to spend a day, your summer holiday, I think. 6 weeks of it, they get enough.
Yeah, nice introduction to cricket for some of them.
Plenty of support in here today, which is good to see as well, as Porter up to the stumps, round the wicket to the left-handed Moores, who just hooks that away off his pads down towards fine leg for a single. 139 for 4.
Been well disciplined as well, Essex. I think there was a no ball early on and 1 leg by, so only 3 extras up to this point.
They struggled in quite a few on my side. Just sitting idle away to our left-hand side. Won't be needing that today.
In fact, it's not been a leg by. It's been the 1 no ball and 1 wide.
Porter, Fuller, defended into the offside by the right-handed Montgomery. But there's no run. 24 off 27 for him. 139 for 4, Nottinghamshire. We are in the 29th over of the Outlaws innings. Remember, Essex won the toss, elected to field. Do you think Nottinghamshire would have done the same? Are they a chasing side as such, or I don't really mind?
Yeah, they generally prefer to chase.
Most sides do, don't they? Seems to be a problem in cricket that teams struggle to figure out what the what the good score is to set in the first innings. Porter just tying up his shoelaces here. The cut-off time just extended to 14:36, which I think is what you said would happen.
The drinks break, yeah. You just wonder if they think the wicket might just start to deaden a little bit. Say 100 overs or thereabouts on Friday, another 50 here. Lots have gone in with the extra spinner today.
Porter up to the stumps, full. And that's driven through the offside. It's a bump ball past the fielder at short cover.
To be more precise, they've gone in with one less seamer. Brett Hutton not playing. Matthew Montgomery's taken his place, and he can bowl some overs of off spin, but I guess he'll feature after Patterson, White and Harrison, and maybe even McCann.
There's a few footmarks starting to appear, isn't there? Porter in, bowls back of a length. That's just turned away to the leg side. There could be a couple on here if they're quick. Nope, they think about it and decide against it. There's that short boundary out there, and the fielding was good. And 2 runs to finish the over. So that's the end of Jamie Porter for today. 10 overs, no maidens, 1 for 39. Not bad. Not bad indeed. You'd take 3.9 economy rate for any of your bowlers. The bonus of the wicket in the initial power play for Jack Haynes. The only disappointing aspect of that from Tom Westley's point of view is that he can't turn back to him a little later on, or indeed keep him going now, because he's been very miserly over the last few overs. But we have got a bowling change. Jamal Richards out of the attack. Did say that they'd either got to use another bowler, a 7th bowler, or we needed to see a little bit more of either Westley or Coochie, and it is going to be the captain to take responsibility. He bowled 3 overs, none for 22 from our end of the ground. He's now going to come back from the broad end. Assuming Benkenstein's got a niggle or something, because I would have thought he'd have been on by now if they were going to bowl him, and he would have been on ahead of Coochie, definitely. So Montgomery on strike, and straight away the 2 fielders again in position for the reverse sweep. There's one fielder, Coochie, in position for the conventional sweep, but there will be the broom brought out, I'm fairly sure, with Matthew Montgomery. Or he might just look to get Tom Moores back on strike for the time being. He's played it away onto the offside and hits it out into the deep. We'll only get a single. Got to be accurate down on that short boundary, because it comes to you quick. Yeah, it does indeed. And you're fielding right on the rope. Yeah, right in front of the home supporters as well. I would never try and compare the partisanship, and I don't mean this in any sort of derogatory or negative way. Love going to Essex and love their partisanship. The visiting fielders certainly know they're on a visiting ground down at Chelmsford, which all makes for fun of the occasion as Moores cuts this to backward point. I would never compare the Notts supporters, but I guess as a visiting fielder right in front of all those Notts fans there, you're well aware that only a pace or 2 behind you, because he's right on the ropes out there, the man at deep square leg, or the other one at deep mid wicket. Moores will turn this to, I was going to say to leg for the single, but Wesley did well off his own bowling and just scampered to it quickly. On a packed evening, on a T20, can it get quite rowdy here? Yeah. As in the past, the local derbies, of course, Derbyshire and Leicestershire, tend to be rowdier than some of the others. Moores does take the aerial route, and the gasp from the crowd will tell you that he did middle that one. It's gone quite far back as well. It has, yep. Into the Smith-Cooper stand, over the leg side for 6 runs. I think that's come off the roof, down into the stands. Tom Moores has given that a meaty old wallop, and great effort by the camera crew to try and follow it. Didn't quite see where it landed. David with more of a tracker than I managed to get on it. 149 for 4. Need one of those things you get on the golf, don't you, just to see where the drive down the fairway has gone as this is pushed back to the bowler. Guess those in the stand would be best placed to tell us exactly where it went, but there was a gasp, wasn't there, an audible gasp as ball left the face of the swishing bat. Wesley in again. Oh, he's gone once more. Moores and missed it this time, and it goes through to Fernandez, and that will end the over with a little bit of optimism for Tom Wesley. 149 for 4 after 30. seems silly to say, but that's actually quite a decent over, apart from the 6 hit sailed
Yeah.
into the stands.
Yeah, 7 from it. 149 for 4. They used to say, sometimes still say, we'll say it now, sometimes say double the score after 30 for an approximation. Sometimes it's bang on, sometimes it's a mile off. Noah Thane is going to be the next bowler to have his turn, coming into the attack from this end of the ground to replace Jamie Porter.
31st over of the innings, and Thane with his medium paces, medium quick. Don't actually know how quickly he actually bowls. I like the speed gun on his deliveries. See what we can come up with here. Right arm over, bowls full. It's driven down the ground and straight to Tom Wesley, his captain, and there's no run.
So with all due respect to Westley and to Noah Thane, you'd imagine Notts will be eyeing up the next 2 or 3 overs, because almost certainly you'd imagine Shane Snater will come back for his allocation, Ben Allison also.
Yeah, I'll be slightly wary of just where they are on the wickets column, but I agree with you, they need to go after one or two of these bowlers. That one's defended to the offside. They'll go through for a single taken. Cushy fields, but can't stop it. 150 up for Nottinghamshire, 150 for 4 in the 31st over of the innings.
Yes, brought up to complete indifference. Always used to be kind of it both ways. Never really understand why they're applauding 150, because it's just a score really. It's not a milestone. You don't get bonus points for it in the county championship, but they always used to applaud it, and now they don't applaud it.
Thane right arm round to left-handed Moores, who punches the ball into the leg side, but Robin Das fields at short mid-wicket, no run. 150 for 4. Does that come round to your way of thinking that day?
Yeah.
Eventually. It only took a few years.
At some grounds they announce it, don't they? The 150 has been reached in the 31st over.
So you're saying just the just the 3-figure scores, the
Well,
hundreds?
hey, whatever. You pay your money, you come in, clap what you want.
Thane, number 8 on his back, round the wicket, bowls, and Moores down the pitch, just guys that past Robin Das, who's tumbling away to his left-hand side. It runs down towards Snater, coming around from deep mid-wicket for a couple of runs. 152 for 4.
Well, I can understand in the county championship, although you don't get points for reaching 150, sometimes you, especially in April and early May this year, sometimes you've just been sat on your hands all day, just happy to clap anything if it's cold.
Yeah. Feels like a long time away that was.
Yeah.
Thane moving in again as Moores punches down the ground this time, but off his own bowling. Thane picks up no run, 152 for 4.
Moore's a runner ball, 23 from 23. He's already hit 1/6, the second one of the innings, and 3 boundaries. Matthew Montgomery 2 boundaries in his score of 29.
Last ball of the over. Thane ready to come in now. He's past the umpire. Bowls, that's not timed, full, just clipped into the ground. Straight back to the bowler.
Sort of the period where as a minimum you want to be looking at a runner ball, isn't it? Just keep the board ticking over. 5, 6, 7 and over is you feel par at best at this stage. Otherwise you're just leaving yourself too much to do at the end of the innings to put that big score on the board. You're asking an awful lot of 8, 9, 10 and 11 to come in and turn a modest score into a decent one. They need to up the ante as we start the 32nd over. Montgomery's on the strike and he will turn this out onto the leg side, but there'll only be a single again.
BBC Essex Cricket at gmail.com if you do want to get in touch with us.
Don't think we've had more than an 11 in any over. But, you do need to at least pulverise 1 or 2 overs along the way. Moores cuts this. Well, he backs away to get into position to cut it square. In the end, he just hits it to Cushy. Extra cover. In fact, that's not Cushy, I beg your pardon. Cushy's at backward point. Moores does hit this one out into the deep, and again he's hit it fearfully hard, and he's got 4 runs with a misfield. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's Jamal Richards, perhaps reflecting on his impressive bowling performance. He had a couple of bites of the cherry in front of the Hound Road stand, and somehow it was like, not that I've ever done it, trying to grasp an eel on the end of your line. Slipped away from it like a bar of soap. I've tried to do that in the old shower, and it's slipped out of your hands. 4 runs. Moores gets a short one that he helps into the Smith Cooper for his second 6 of the innings, and that big over that I was asking for, perhaps courtesy of
Bin, and probably Moores wouldn't have been on strike for the next ball.
Yeah, it's absolutely spot on. 11 from 4 in this over. There's Westley to Tom Moores. Tosses it up, and Moores tosses it up even further, but will it be caught? He will. Hit it straight to mid-wicket. Well, deep mid-wicket on the fence, but that's not too far back, and just didn't quite get enough elevation. Hit it hard, but Westley gets a wicket, and a reprieve in a sense for Essex. That could have been so many more for Tom Moores. Caught Fane, Noah Fane with the catch, just about shoulder height, nicely judged off Westley. Was at the crease for 24 minutes, faced 28 balls, 4 fours and 2 6s, but in a sense again he's left some out there. He was accelerating nicely, 10 off the previous 2 balls, and then a little bit of a squandering of a wicket. Not so, still a long way away from home. 18 overs to go here, and half the side are out for 163.
Yeah, 1 hit too many from Tom Moores there. Probably just more towards the toe end of the bat, that one. Didn't quite get it out of the screws, and it went flat and hard to the man at mid-wicket. Say deep mid-wicket, but
yeah.
It really wasn't that deep. But he was right on the boundary, and a good wicket for Essex to have there, because Tom Moores was accelerating. 33 off 28, wasn't it?
Yeah.
161 for 5. Sorry, 31 off 28.
No, 30. I don't think he's gone on. I think it's 33 off 28. Yeah. Lyndon James coming in now, and top score for Notts is 47. I think on a surface, on the conditions we've got today, very little breeze, warm sunshine, pleasant sunshine on a track that Notts know only too well. Fast outfield, shortish boundary on one side to get to this stage of the innings with a top score of 47 from your top order. Notts will feel that they're a little off the pace here, and whether Essex have only won 1 of their group matches so far or not, they're the side that are on top at the moment. If we have one of those win-vis things, you'd say Essex very much in command at this stage of the afternoon. 1 ball left in an over that was going along swimmingly for Notts before Tom Moores, as he has done many times this season actually, just had a bright and breezy 30 odd from Tom. Happens too many times. A player of his undoubted potential, or his undoubted quality, as Lyndon James pushes his first ball back to the over, back to the bowler, into the over. 163 for 5, so 11 from it, and the wicket. Yeah, Tom Moores, not enough 70s, 80s, 90s and 100s throughout his career. But, don't get me wrong, there was nothing wrong with his contribution today, but it's always disappointing to see somebody in seemingly such good form hit the ball then straight to a fielder.
Rob's been back in touch. He's concerned about keeping the score manageable after letting Surrey off the hook on Friday. He's worried about top order, which has been failing recently. Here comes Thane bowls, and that's wrapped Montgomery in the mid-rift. Pops out into the offside and fielded by Kushi. No run. 163 for 5. We are in the 33rd over of the Nottinghamshire innings. Yeah. Essex will want to keep this under 300, certainly with 5 wickets down and 18 overs to go. Just under 18 overs. Thane up to the stumps. That's guided into the offside. Should just be a single. Sliding stop by Robin Das. Just almost waited for the ball to get off one of those cut strips, just so he had a more comfortable slide. It's quite painful if you have to slide across one of the more bearish strips out there. One to the total, 164 for 5. Really glorious day here at Trent Bridge. One of my favourite, if not my favourite, test ground in the country. Beautiful to be back here after a few years. Thane in again. That's driven towards mid-off. There's no run. 164 for 5. Could be a starker contrast. The last time I came here 3 years ago during the pandemic, and it was lashing down with rain as well. Miserable time all round.
Yeah, I'll pull up that game. 2021, fairly short. So it was not the big pandemic of 2020. It was the lockdown the year after.
Thane in bowls. Oh, it's edged into the ground. He didn't know where that went, the batsman. James, that could have crashed into the stumps, gone anywhere. It's just squirted out into the leg side, and there's no run. Attempted cross-batted shot, but his bat was at an angle, and it came from a thick inside edge, and he gets away with it. 164 for 5.
So Essex 99 all out at lunch just after lunch on the first day. Luke Fletcher 6 for 24. Then Notts 323 all out. Shane Snater 7 for 98. And then Essex second innings bowled out for 194.
Thane in, bowls, and James was looking to play a big shot at that. He pulled out of it and just sort of half defended it into the leg side. There's no run.
Got Notts going again. They won back-to-back games. Then they'd beaten Derbyshire the week before, as you say, also behind closed doors, and then defeated Essex. And they were the first 2 wins for something like 32, 33 first-class games since they'd beaten Essex at Chelmsford in 2018.
Thane past the umpire. Bowls full. It's carved away through the offside, but Snater been doing a lot of work out there on that boundary. Comes charging in, can't prevent the second run. It's all actually good cricket all round. Good running, good fielding, good batting. And that is the end of the over. A couple of runs to finish the 33rd. And Nottinghamshire 166 for 5. How many runs off that over? Just the 3.
Yeah. So Lyndon James out there. He will be going off to join the England Lions, who play Sri Lanka, the Sri Lankan tourists. They're just warming up for their imminent test series against England, with a match against England Lions at New Road, Worcester, starting Wednesday. Call up for Lyndon James. Farhan Ahmed of Notts, the young 16-year-old spinner, is also in the squad. 166 for 5 as Wesley continues bowling to Matthew Montgomery. Seen very little of the strike since a high-powered start to his innings. He made 21 out of 22 with Freddie McCann, and since then has surveyed most of the damage at the non-strikers end. A couple of wickets elsewhere. Keep you up to speed in Group B. Surrey 185 for 4 after 34 against Sussex. Warwickshire 159 for 5 after 36 against Yorkshire, and Leicestershire 163 for 6 against Glamorgan as Montgomery tries the reverse, and Lyndon James has come a mile down and is run out by quite some distance. That was a really poor all-round from Notts. Robin Dass with the throw up to the bowler Wesley, and Lyndon James has to go for 3. Wesley bowled, Matthew Montgomery into position quickly for the reverse sweep. Whilst he was doing that, Lyndon James obviously saw the connection of bat on ball and set off running, but Matthew Montgomery did it straight to Robin Dass, who was in a position initially at backward point for the right-hander. Hit it straight to him, and Lyndon James had to put the brakes on. Montgomery yelled no, go back, and Dass with a good throw right to the bowler Wesley, who just gathered it and then whipped off a bail, and Lyndon James just carried on running back to the pavilion, run out for 3. A little bit again a waste of a wicket for Notts. James run out, the throw from Dass into Wesley, and he's gone for 3.
He just lost his head a little bit there, didn't he? Charging down the pitch. Never a single there. Excellent bit of fielding from Robin Dass, because the pressure's not huge. You've still got to pick up and throw and get it on the stumps, which he did. And Wesley just had the simple job of taking the ball and whipping off the bails. James well short. In fact, he'd pretty much given up the run and getting back. God, he was over halfway down the pitch. He had to get back again. He pretty much completed a run, just in the wrong direction.
I'm not so sure it would have been a different outcome had Matthew Montgomery
set off.
He would have responded to Lyndon Charsley, to the new man. Beg your pardon, to Matthew Montgomery. The new man is Liam Patterson-White, another lefty. For many years we saw Notts pretty much without any in the side, but there's a handful at the moment. Slater, McCann, Moores and Patterson-White in this 11. 169 for 6, and Liam Patterson-White's another one who, if you float it up there, he's either going to smash you high into the upper reaches of the Smith Cooper stand, or he's going to miss it and be on his way. Notts will be open. It's the former.
I suppose the only thing that might have affected that run out, had Montgomery set off, it might have made the fielder think twice about which direction, which end. He only had one option in the end. Yeah.
Wesley to LPW, plays this one to mid on, and there's no run. I think all the regular listeners know that LPW is now an accepted abbreviation of Liam Patterson-White. I think everybody knows him as LPW on the commentaries, as he gets away with a lovely shot into the offside. It's 4 or 2 here. Can Slater get there? He can't. Lovely shot from LPW. Liam Patterson-White, 4 runs. That's a nice way to announce your introduction. End of the over. Wesley doesn't get the wicket, but he was crucial in sending back Lyndon James. And Notts just got to be careful now with 6 down. Calvin Harrison due in at 9, and then Rob Lord and Luke Fletcher. They were bowled out in the final over on Friday for 332. They're going to be some way short of that now, I think, whatever happens.
Yeah, they've done well, Essex here, just to get these 6 wickets. Like a decent track, but they've still got to bat on this, and they've still got to get these last 4 wickets out as well, which hasn't always been easy. We're in the 35th over, so 15 overs left after this one. Ben Allison coming back on from Radcliffe Road end. 65 on his back, running away from us now, up to the stumps, and he bowls, and that's defended back down the pitch, and there's no run. 173 for 6. Allison with his swept back hair.
Yes, good luck if you're trying to see something with my binoculars. I think they've been dropped that many times that I don't think either side of the binoculars, the 2 lenses, I don't think they align very well.
Good, I thought it was just my eyes. Allison in, guided out to the offside, and a sliding stop attempted by Das across one of those cut pitches. A throw comes and he can't prevent the second run, and 2 to the total. 175 for 6, and Allison,
fine player, Australian Test player, mounting a comeback for Leicestershire. He's 55 not out there. 171 for 6 against Glamorgan.
Strangely, I used to work with his brother. This next delivery is pushed down to the offside. There's no run.
You used to work with Peter Hanscom's brother?
Yeah.
There we are. There's an unlikely link to the match at Grace Road today. In which part of the world?
Financial services.
I mean, in Australia or in...
Oh, sorry, in the UK. Yeah, I don't know whether he's gone back or not. I don't think he works where I work anymore. Here comes Allison, driven nicely into the offside. Das gets a little hand to it, which slows it down. Slater will come through and prevent the second run. Throw comes. Allison didn't appreciate that on the bounce.
No.
Oh, he's taken it nicely though. His hand has survived. 176 for 5. So I'm just having a look in the crowd, see whether people are tucking into their lunches yet or ice creams, but everyone seems to be either on mobile phones or just having a nice friendly chat with each other. Hang on, I spotted a couple that are having ice creams. Well done. What are we? Coming up to 1:30 in the day. Good to see. Blistering day. I think there's someone out there as well. I know. She's drinking what looks like a glass of wine. Yep, that one's carved.
Don't necessarily get the champagne corks here like you do at Lords of the Test match, don't you?
Deep cover, and there's no run. 176 for 6.
A couple of sides are 8 wickets down now in the other group. Middlesex 109 for 8 against Somerset at Lords, and at New Road, Hampshire 131 for 8 against Worcestershire, obviously, at New Road. 176 for 6. One ball left in the 35th.
Allison moving in now. Right arm round the wicket to the left-hander, and that's punched out towards deep cover for a single. 177 for 6. Going nowhere fast at the moment, Nottinghamshire. Yeah,
they're in that position where they've got to rebuild time and time again. Maybe Matthew Montgomery's taken it upon himself to maybe I should have a chat to Liam Patterson-White, who we know can give it a little bit of the long handle. But Notts will certainly feel they're below par at the moment. On a bright sunny day at Trent Bridge. Who's going to bowl? Shane Snater's going to come back and have a bowl. Unmistakable Shane Snater as he takes off his cap. Shock of dark hair. I think we've seen him in the past with one or two highlights in there. He's got a blob of sun cream on his nose. That's very sensible. Bowled his first 5 overs at a cost of 21 runs, all from the Stuart Broad end, and that's where he's going to come in from now. 177 for 6, 15 to go, and there is Snater then to bowl to LPWs on 5. Turns this out onto the leg side for a single. 178 for 6. Not to have any chance of progression to the knockout phase would need to win this, and they'd need to beat Warwickshire at Rugby School on Wednesday. Even then, they might need a little bit of a helping hand. We know that the top 2 positions in this group will be sewn up by Warwickshire and Glamorgan already, so it's that 3rd spot that's up for grabs as Montgomery drives again out into the offside for a single. Lots with the best run rate of those in contention. They would need Leicestershire to lose one of their matches. They would be playing Glamorgan, or they are playing Glamorgan today, and then play Gloucestershire in the final match. Gloucestershire can still get through if they win. Might be looking for Notts to lose one of theirs, as Liam Patterson-White punch this out on the leg side. And that's a couple of good shots in this over, played out towards the Bridgeford Road side of the ground, and they've both been hit straight to the fielder, the only fielder on that side, and it's a difference between 8 runs and 2 runs. Bit of a sore throat after the footy commentary yesterday and the cricket commentary on Friday, so we won't yell out the score in traditional manner. It is 180 for 6, 180. Montgomery's on 37. Right-hander will help this down to long leg. Jamal Richards down here. Clean bit of fielding this time from Richards, who let one slip through his grasp 2 or 3 overs ago, and it actually led to the dismissal of Tom Moores, who wouldn't have been on strike. I'm sure we'll see some more of Richards. 5 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 23, his figures. Snater balls to LPW, blocks this. 181 for 6, 1 ball left in the over. Porter's bowled out, 10 overs, 1 for 39. And Richards have had 5, Cushy and Thane 2 apiece. Actually, that additional block might be used up. Wesley, Cushy and Thane have had 10 between them. Patterson-White gets a single. to conclude the over. 182 for 6, a 5 from that one. Notts again not getting the sort of momentum into their innings at this stage, this phase of the game that they would have hoped. Still the top scorer in the innings, Ben Slater's 47. And those of you watching the live pictures on Trent Bridge Live will see it's not really been a healthy acceleration for Notts. Each time they've got into a position where it's looked as if they might be the side that are going to force the issue, they've lost a wicket or two just to set them back in their tracks. 182 for 6, Allison 6 right now. Comes in to bowl to the left-handed Patterson White. Can only turn this up to Nick Brown at mid-on. Textbook long barrier from Nick Brown, no runs. A difficult competition for Lancashire. They got off to a poor start, then lost Keaton Jennings, and it's not much better today. They're 154 for 7 at Wantage Road against Northants. Chris Green, the Australian, just gone for 33. He's had a fine competition. Down the leg side, and this is tickled away by Patterson White. I think it was bat, it was. Went very quickly, very fine. Nobody can cut that off. And there's not been Patterson White on to 12. .186 for 6. He's in again and pushed to point, no run. Century today for Ben McKinney of Durham. 115 he made in the match down at Canterbury. Durham 223 for 6. Neither of those sides are going to trouble anyone in the knockout phase. Both have already been eliminated, but young McKinney, I think he's also one of those called up for the Lions for the first time, celebrating with a century. This is wide enough to be cut at by Patterson White, but doesn't get hold of it. It's straight to Robin Das, no run, 186 for 6. Warm day, pleasant day. Few fluffy clouds just starting to materialise, but nothing to be fearful of. Allison short and wide, and Patterson White pulled out of going for it, and maybe he sensed that there was the potential that would be called as either a no ball or a wide, but he gets neither. Umpire at this end is Phil Mustard. Played most of his career for Durham. A little bit of there's no run. Notts finding it increasingly difficult to get the ball away, increasingly difficult to rotate the strike with any great regularity, and boundaries have all but dried up. 186 for 6 after 37. Guess with a couple of more wickets at their disposal, they'd be eyeing up 100 in the last 13. Really are going to need somebody to come off spectacularly well if they're to do that. Both this pair, particularly Montgomery, have got starts. He's 38 from 44. Patterson White still relatively in the early stages of his innings, 12 from 14. Slater disappears into the distance, quite a lengthy run up. Comes in past umpire Harris's left shoulder and bowls to Montgomery, who just pushes it back to him. There's no addition to the total. 5 in the ring as is required, 3 on the offside. Montgomery on strike now, and a little push into the gap on the offside, just in front of point. Takes a single. Takes Matthew Montgomery to 39. His highest score of this season's competition. Made 38 at Neath last week. Beg your pardon, at Guildford last Sunday. Liam Patterson-White has had contributions of 38 not out, 36 and 29 in this season's competition. His top scores. Now he's bowled, won't get any more. Terrific delivery from Snater on the angle. He's made a real mess of the stumps. One end of the ground, one knocked back. And it's an all-important 7th wicket for the visitors from Essex. Liam Patterson-White bowled by Shane Snade, stifled by a lovely bit of bowling. And lots have got to really be thankful now, I think, for whatever they can get. 187 for 7, with Calvin Harrison probably to come in next, and then just Rob Lord and Luke Fletcher. Like the look of Rob Lord on Friday on his home debut, 12 not out, left high and dry with knots being bowled out in the final over. But he played 1 or 2 nice shots before then. Calvin Harrison, he got a 5-ball duck on Friday. Lovely bowling from Shane Snater, who's now got figures of 1 for 27. No change to the order. It is Harrison ahead of Lord. Notts playoff hopes hanging by a slender thread here, you fancy. Of course, there's no way of knowing how well they're going to bowl and field, how poorly Essex is going to bat, but this is a score that you would is under par. At Lords, you'd feel that Middlesex are under par. They're 119 for 9 against Somerset. The other scores in that group, I've just done most of them recently. Lancashire 171 for 7 against Northants. Hampshire 144 for 8 against Worcestershire. Durham 234 for 6 against Kent. In Group B, Surrey 202 for 6 against Sussex. Warwickshire 194 for 6 against Yorkshire. Leicestershire 197 for 6 against Glamorgan. You're up to speed once Calvin Harrison has made his way to the middle. We're halfway through the 38th over. Still the top scorer in the innings is Ben Slater's 47. Matthew Montgomery's 39 not out at the non-striker's end. And Calvin Harrison couldn't get any of his first 4 deliveries on Friday away and was then dismissed by his 5th. Snater to challenge him here. Bowls and squared up a little bit. This off the outside portion, runs to backward point, no run. How are Notts going to play this with 12 overs and a couple of deliveries left to go? Slip brought in the shape of Noah Fane. Snater bowls. Harrison again happy to defend, put bat on ball. I think he's had a busy 24 hours. Did go with the Trent Rockets down to Southampton yesterday. Didn't play. Understand he got on the field for a little bit as a 12th man, but Friday, and yet to get off the mark here as he pushes his 3rd ball out onto the offside. So at the end of a Another very good over for Essex, just 1 run and a wicket from it. 187 for 7. And we're through 38 overs. Not's got to make the most of these 12 overs. Hampshire 9 down now at New Road, 149 for 9. Fatty Singh has bowled his 10 overs, 2 for 27 there, the young Not spinner on loan. It's going to be Ben Allison. This will be his 7th over, the 39th of the innings, bowling to Montgomery, who really shoulders a lot of the responsibility now for Notts to get a score that they'll feel more comfortable with, make the most of these last 12 overs. Not quite at the point where he's got to be thinking about farming the strike, but certainly got to be thinking that he would want to be here at the end of the 50th over and want to at least double the score he's presently got of 39. Allison bowls, and again he can't get it away. A couple of dots to begin this over. So Rugby School on Wednesday is the final destination for Notts in their group matches. Essex go to Hove to play Sussex. At the moment, those two 8th and 9th in the table as Montgomery gets it into the offside and partially stopped, and the deflection means that they can come back for a couple. It's a decent semi-stop from Snater. He saved the boundary, but the deflection took it away from Tom Westley, and they were able to come back for a second. 1-8 bowl to him. This is just dropped on the leg side. Single taken. 190 for 7. Good crowd. Sunday afternoon cricket at Trent Bridge, the halcyon days of the Sunday League, the John Player League, and the sun shone and people came to the cricket in their numbers. Little push by Harrison, and shy at the stumps, might have been run out for naught there had the throw from Snater hit them. It looked like somebody who's not scored a run either in this innings or his previous one. Little push into the offside, and he set off, and like Lyndon James was in serious trouble. Once there was Allison to Harrison. Oh, he's got one down the leg side that he's tickled away. He'll be mightily relieved to have got that run. So he's off the mark, and it'll mean he'll keep the strike. End of the 39th, 191 for 7. So 4 from the over in the end, 3 to Montgomery. Harrison getting the single, and he'll keep the strike. So 11 to go. Another good over for Allison. He's 7 overs, none for 34. Another good over for the visitors in their quite snazzy purple. Very much enjoying their effervescence in the field. Maybe Jamal Richards, I think we've enjoyed his effervescence in the field. 5 overs, 3 for 23, and he's going to come back. Should we have a switch of ends? Do you want to do one from the Stuart Broad end?
Yeah, why not? Why not? So Jamal Richards bowled superbly this morning, went for a couple of boundaries in his final over before being taken off. Essex have found themselves in a decent position here with Nottinghamshire 7 wickets down, 190 on the board. Montgomery still at the crease though, as Richards bowls, and that's defended into the offside. And there is no run. So bbcessexcricket@gmail.com if you do want to get in touch with us. Essex drive home their advantage. It will be interesting to see how the pitch plays. The left of this one, that's down the leg side, that's going to be a wide. Well taken by Fernandez. Hasn't put a foot, well, certainly in the couple of games that I've seen him play for Essex, done much wrong with the gloves. And there's no run. 192 for 7. But as Dave Bracegirdle was saying, Nottinghamshire have got some spinners in their side. Interested to see if they can get some turn out of this pitch. Slow Essex down. That could be the reason why they've struggled to score. Nottinghamshire, that one's defended into the offside and there's no run. Difficult to get the ball off the square with the slowing pitch, especially under this baking sun. A few more clouds have appeared, but it's a glorious day at Trent Bridge. We're in the 40th over of the innings. So 10 to go after this one. Richards bowls, and that's turned away into the leg side. And there's no run there. Just saying, Dave, just as you were saying beforehand, already 100 overs on this pitch, another 50 about to be accumulated. Maybe it is just getting a little bit tricky to score off.
Yes, that's going to be the challenge, isn't it? And it's going to be a challenge for us to, I guess, identify it, that it has become harder and harder to score. Don't know if this is because Notts have lost so many wickets and Essex bowlers are on top, just starting to come into play.
Richards in, that's down the leg side as well. So a couple of wides off the over, just a bit loose since he's come back on, Richards.
Yes. You wonder if his misfield was down to him thinking about his bowling, and now his bowling he's been knocked by his misfield.
Going at just under 5s for the last 40 overs. If Nottinghamshire can push it up towards 6 and 7s, then they'll be looking around about 250, 260, which, given what we've seen so far, seems like a tough ask, I would say, from an Essex point of view. Bearing in mind batting's not their strongest suit at the moment. That was defended down towards short backward point, and there's no run.
They call it the Smith-Cooper stand. Stand on the Bridgeford Road side of the ground, away to our right as we look. Just nice now. It's just pleasantly in the shade. It's quite close to the action there as well. A good vantage point, if you like your cricket square on the rest of the ground, obviously in the exposed areas.
On a day like this is certainly the day you want to be in that stand. It's nice shaded cover as that one's pushed up towards mid-off. There's no run. If
you look away to our left to the Fox Road stand, it's bizarre actually, because the shade is only about 6 or 7 rows from the very top, so that part is the seats are at a premium, aren't they? They're the ones to be in.
I have noticed that that stand's emptied out a little bit. I presume a lot of those people are either in different parts of the ground or just hiding behind the stand trying to get out of the sun.
Well, the other thing is they're looking into the sun pretty much across there, and it's not that easy to see the cricket.
Richards up to the stumps, bowls, and oh, that's edged. Oh, is it caught? No, he's got it. What a fantastic take from Feroz Kushi, jumping away, leaping away a backward point. I thought that had flown away for 4 actually, but he just plucked it out of the air and he gets wrapped up by his colleagues celebrating that one. That was a superb take from Feroz Kushi, and Nottinghamshire lose their 8th wicket. They're 193 for 8, and congratulations, young man, what a catch.
And Calvin Harrison, none from 5 balls on Friday, 1 from 11 today. He's had no cricket. Not since the blast. He's been here, there and everywhere, including a trip to Southampton and back yesterday where he didn't play for Trent Rockets. Had no cricket at all. He looked rusty on Friday with bat and ball, and let's just hope he's going to be able to find his bowling rhythm today. But 1 from 11, just when Notts really needed a little bit of a contribution from him there, even if it was just a run a ball, 15 or 20, just in support of Matthew Montgomery, would have been perfect. And now we're down to Rob Lord and Luke Fletcher, and Essex will be eyeing up a short stint here, a couple of wickets away from bowling Notts out.
4 wickets for Jamal Richards.
Well, we know what he'll be eyeing up.
Absolutely. Just the 2 wides off the over as well. And he just kept it a little bit cleaner than that. Mind you, might not have got that last wicket had he not bowled those 2 wides. So, new batsman comes to the crease. Essex, I think, will be fairly happy where they are at the moment. They need to wheedle these last 2 wickets out. Montgomery will want most of the strike if he can. Stranded at the non-strikers end for the whole of that over.
It's going to be Allison to continue, who's he's been a pretty good foil for everybody else. He's not got a wicket yet, hasn't he? But he's kept knots nice and honest. He's bowled well. Decent player now.
I can imagine as well. I mean, he's a tall lad, but once he starts filling out, you know, hitting the deck hard with those deliveries.
Bowling to Montgomery, who has pretty much got it all on his shoulders now. He's 42 not out. Plays this to Kushi at backward point, who's probably still telling all his mates, no problem, no problem.
Had it all the way, saw it all the way. So what does Montgomery do here? Does he bat out the next 5 overs, or does he start hitting out?
That's it, isn't it? That's the question. That's the dilemma.
How good are you? Well, I know Luke Fletcher doesn't do Lord Line.
6 not out and 12 not out.
Okay.
And, yeah, it's the question we're going to find out, but I can't give you an answer to whether Matthew Montgomery is going to say I'll take charge now and try and face every ball and let's see if he comes off, or is he going to say, well, I'll be here till the end, you have a go, and then I'll try and dictate terms if Luke Fletcher comes to the crease. Allison into him, and again he's pushed it into the offside, but he was advancing down the track and looked as if he was trying to take a single.
So there's 2 things. You don't want to leave 8-9 overs unbowled. At the same time, you don't want to push a single off the last delivery of the next four overs and advance absolutely nowhere, because then you are heaping a whole load of pressure on the last 5, and it could end up collapsing very quickly. So he's got to balance aggression with a tiny bit of caution.
Allison on for 34, halfway through his 8th, and well, Matthew Montgomery looks to be setting his stall out to bat the innings out, but as David was just sort of implying there, 193 for 8 from 40 can become 193 for 8 from 50 if it's just block from here until the end. Michael Hickman makes a good point. Dave, I'm watching Fatty Singh bowl for Worcestershire at New Road. Looks a really decent prospect. Maybe we'll get one back from the poachers' knots, he says. I'd like him to sign for us. He's a good player, good talent, Fatty Singh, left-arm spinner, and very capable bat. Montgomery's guided this down to third for a single from the 5th ball of the over. 193 becomes 194 for 8. John Peers has been in touch. Batting letting us down again, Dave. Well, I certainly think you're probably spot on in assuming you, as I am, feeling this is a below par score, but again, come 6 o'clock, 6:30, we might be seeing Essex finding it very difficult to get the bat away off a strip that's going to be 150 overs old down the leg side. Another run there. Notts are going to have to bowl well. They're going to take pace off the ball. We know that by the composition of their side. Patterson, White and Harrison and McCann and Montgomery. So they've got 4 spinners. Yes, I'm sure we're going to see Luke Fletcher and Rob Lord and Lyndon James as well, but I would imagine pace off will be the way to go. Allison bowls, Lord pushes it back to the bowler. 195 for 8, 2 from the over, and one of those was a wide.
Yeah, going nowhere fast at the moment. Maybe the extra pace of Jamal Richards trying to just toy with the field a little bit.
2 sides have been bowled out. Middlesex all out for 135 at Lords against Somerset. Hampshire 164 all out against Worcestershire at New Road. Those 2 matches, of course, in the other group. The relevance of that is Somerset looking nailed on to win the other group and get the home semi-final. Hampshire putting their 2nd place in doubt against Worcestershire.
Richards in, it's defended into the offside. There's no run. Sorry, Dave.
Yeah, that essentially was it. Worcestershire could leapfrog Hampshire if they can win that one. In this group, nothing to play for except a little bit of southerly pride at Hove. Surrey 225 for 7 in the 44th against Sussex. Warwickshire determined to finish top of Group B. They're 214 for 8 after 46 against Yorkshire. Glamorgan have the same hopes. Leicestershire 210 for 7.
Richardson again, Montgomery down the pitch, guided away towards deep backward square. Well, they've taken a single very early on in this over. Did notice that Allison was trying to bowl wicket to wicket in the last over. As in, you make a mistake, I hit.
Yeah. Lord for the Essex faithful that have tuned in or are watching, not aware of Rob Lord. You're not too far behind many of us. He's been a very recent addition for this competition. He's been playing his minor counties. Well, we don't call them minor counties, we call them national counties. Some impressive performances in the national counties for Cheshire, and recommended to Notts, and they've taken a punt on him.
Richards in again from the Stuart Broad end. That's clipped away nicely into the leg side. He's going through for a single shot. The stumps are now. For 8.
Equally, it was almost an off the mark for a 5 because, as you say, it needed good backing up. It was a powerful throw from Snater, but had it, well, I think had it clipped the stumps, he might have been out. But it needed backing up, otherwise he'd have been off the mark with a 5.
Richards in again. Balls to Montgomery. Drives back to the bowler. Oh, that's come right off his knee. Ooh, that's going to be painful on his follow through, straight through his hands, bang straight off his knee, and Richards just limping away. Painful one, that one. He's got to walk that off.
Producer Kirsty has sent a message. So if you're watching the live stream, so if you're watching the pictures on Trent Bridge Live, doesn't matter if you're just listening to the audio, but if you're watching the pictures on Trent Bridge Live, during the interval, everything is going to be turned off. They're going to turn off the live stream and reboot it, kick it on again. So you will need to do the same. So when we come back for the second innings, you're going to have to reboot your systems.
Richards into Montgomery, who rides the bounce and defends it into the offside. There won't be any run there. Just is it 2 runs off the over so far? Yeah, 2 runs off the over. In
Kirsty's word, producer Kirsty, the system's got all a bit hot and bothered. We're going to have to turn it off and turn it on again, which is pretty much my way of getting through life if things don't work. Turn it off and turn it on again. In that instance, if it doesn't work, then yell for help. But producer Kirsty knows what she's doing. So for the second innings, for the Essex batting effort, you're going to have to turn your live stream off and turn it on again.
Richards in, down the pitch comes Montgomery, clipped away to the leg side. I think that's just going to be a single. That struck nicely. Oh, they're coming out for a second. No, he's... the throw came in. Had he thrown that straight away, one of the two might have been in trouble, but as he is, they got back comfortably for a second run. 199 for 8, and that is the end of the 42nd over. 8 overs to go in the Notts innings.
This is an unusual day, David, I must tell you, in the commentary box here, because we've not yet, I don't think, had a ticking off from producer Kirsty, so we're obviously...
She's quite a hard taskmaster.
She is indeed.
She's in the background.
She cracks the whip, and
the puppet master.
Occasionally we'll get energy, need more energy.
Oh.
Energy dropping from the comms.
Oh, cool. So we've been okay so far.
Well, so far, but there is the possibility it might develop into a soporific Sunday afternoon and the bright sunshine and lots of other words beginning with S.
I've got to admit, she's got to be a little bit sympathetic to us. When we're battling through quite a stuffy commentary box here, it's quite hot.
I don't know what you're saying. I have got some deodorant if that's what you're implying somewhere.
Oh no, not at all, not at all.
Here's Shane Snater, as I was saying, lots of words beginning with S right now. And Shane Snater, you just popped out for a quick comfort break. I think the last time he came on, I mentioned we've seen him with the old the Badger hairstyle once or twice, haven't we? One night, or the Kevin Peterson hairstyle. He bowls now, beats Rob Lord on the outside, and it goes through to wicketkeeper Fernandez. Are we calling this a mullet? I'm not very good at hairstyles, but it's expressive.
I'd go with mullet. I think Noah Thane's got a similar cut as well.
I like the cut of his jib. I like the cut of his hair. 199 for 8.
Yeah, he's a decent bowler.
I might have one of those one day.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. If only. Rob Lord's on 1. Not so 1 away from 200. Would be a batting... No, it wouldn't even be a batting bonus point. Here is the single to reach 200. I'm
250 these days, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, even in that, I'm 2 years behind things. Applause for the 200. They didn't applaud the 150, as we mentioned, but I think that was a sigh of relief, a cry of relief for the 200 coming up, 200 for 8. And
I could be massively wrong. I'm going to call it early. I think 220, 230 is going to be a tough get on this pitch.
we'll have to see. Montgomery on 46. And a little bit of a flinch at that one as it goes through to Fernandez. Still Slater's 47 is the top score. The thing with 220 or 230 is sometimes, and more often than not, sides go out looking to chase 220 or 230. The fact that Nott's got 330 on here on Friday made Gloucestershire sort of, I think you used the expression earlier, go for the B and bang, and very early on Miles Hammond set his stall out. If we're going to get 330, I've got to wallop a few. As Slater bowls and just pushed into the offside, and my word, did he wallop a few. Single taken by Matthew Montgomery, so he's joint top scorer on 47, 201 for 8. But you know what I mean, they might not necessarily think, oh crikey, we need 85 from the power play here to beat Notts, because they've got such a good score. Let's just ease our way in. And Notts were, after 10 overs, 41 for 41 for 1. The wicket went down in the 9th over. So something roundabout there, and we're very much on target. Slater bowls to Master Lord, plays it on the leg side. We had one or two guys asking it, of course, all the cricket devotees. I was with Ed Seaborn, of course, the Gloucestershire commentator, and of course we've totally overlooked the master of all cricket, Thomas Lord, probably the most famous Lord. I mentioned Lord Sugar, but that wasn't allowed within the regulations. And Master Lord has clipped this out onto the leg side, but again he's picked out the fielder. That's Allison out there. There's only a single. 202 for 8 after 43.
Yeah, just 3 runs off the over.
One we didn't mention on Friday, I'm old enough, and I suspect I'm a little older than you. Pan's People, there was a Babs Lord, wasn't there? She was one of the principal dancers on Pan's People back in the day. Ah, we reminisce. 202 for 8 after 43.
Yeah, I've only ever heard of Pan's People. tiny bit before my time.
Now, what was your era then? Legs and Co?
I don't even remember them.
Don't you remember Legs and Co, Top of the Pops?
No.
The dancers?
Good Lord, no.
Crikey. Remember Top of the Pops?
Yes.
Have you heard of that? Have you heard of music?
I was going to say, I wish I was young enough to say I haven't heard of Top of the Pops, but sadly that's not the case. Jamal Richards, right arm over to Lord. That's clipped off the pads into the leg side, short mid-wicket fields, and there's no run.
The Lord last Sunday, his second game for Notts, 5 for down at Surrey, and there's Ben Folkes, Dom Sibley in there. Don't think he got Rory Burns, but it was a relatively impressive first bag for Notts, a 5 foot.
202 for 8. Lord tries to swipe at that. A big appeal for a catch behind. Umpire says no.
Yeah. I'm a little wary of
an audacious shot for a tail.
A little wary of umpire Harris after seeing him at Neath against Notts last week.
Trying to hook Jamal Richards away. There's no run. 44th over of the innings. 202 on the board. Now, can Notts get up to around about 230, 240? Big ask, bearing in mind they've gone just over 4.5 and over. Here comes Richards in, bowls to Lord, who just clips the way into the leg side, and there's no run.
Notts could have done with Glamorgan defeating Leicestershire today. That would have helped their cause, would have made it a little more simple. Beat Essex and beat Warwickshire, and almost certainly they would have been through. But Peter Hanscom, whose brother David is best mates with, is 93 not out. 232 for 7 Leicestershire. Hanscom playing a gem for Leicestershire today.
Richards in, and Lord audacious steps outside of leg stump, tries to ramp the ball over the wicket-keeper, and is just a whisker away from getting cleaned up there.
Yeah, with Matthew Montgomery 47 not out at the other end. There's two camps, aren't there? As you said, where are you going to get the runs from? Otherwise, the other one is your number 10 playing that shot when Matthew Montgomery's 47 not out at the other end. There's two camps. If it comes off, it's great.
But I'm assuming he's not playing that shot unless Montgomery said, look, you've got to go for this, otherwise we're going nowhere.
Who knows?
Because he hasn't really played at any of those shots in anger since he started his innings, and he's 10 balls into it. Another swipe into the leg side. That's going to fall short of the man down at a deep fine leg. Turn to the back. The problem for that is that now Montgomery's on strike, and was there one delivery left?
Yeah.
So Montgomery's got to try and steal the strike back.
Yeah, one ball left. 203 for 8. Richards 4 for 30. Those figures are tantalisingly close to what I presume would be a first fifer for Essex, would it?
Yeah, without looking back, I mean, I don't remember him taking 5.
Well, it doesn't matter how many you get. First one's always special, but then you want 2 and 3 and 4 of them.
He's got a couple of overs left after this as Montgomery comes down. That's pulled away to the leg side. They will get a single down towards deep backward square leg. A bit of a misfield. They think about coming back for a second, but that seemed a bit silly to me. And they decide not to go anyway. End of the over. 6 overs remaining in this Nottinghamshire innings. And they're currently 204 for 8, but not really going anywhere.
No, you're absolutely spot on there. All the other games drawing towards in the interval stage. Surrey 234 for 8 after 46. Warwickshire 230. That's against Sussex. 232 for 9 is the Warwickshire score, with 9 balls left against Yorkshire. Leicestershire, as I've just said, 237 for 7, with 4.5 overs left against Glamorgan. In Group A, Middlesex 135 all out. They're in the interval. At Lords against Somerset. At New Road they're in the interval. Hampshire 164 all out against Worcestershire. Lancashire 222 for 9 with 3 overs left at Wantage Road against Northants. And Durham 297 for 8 with 1 over left at Canterbury. It's Ben Allison to bowl his 9th. On for 36. He's been mightily impressive. Bowls to Matthew Montgomery, who just can't get him away at the moment. Pushes this into the covers, no run.
Yeah, still bowling that stump-to-stump line, which is exactly the way to do it. Force the batsman to play a shot that he doesn't want to play. And if he misses, you're hoping that the bowler hits the wickets.
Nick Morrell looking forward to a day out at rugby on Wednesday. That's not quite what he's put. I've got tickets for rugby, Dave. I'm a mug. 204 for 8. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be nice. This is pushed into the offside for a single. 205 for 8. Hallowed grounds of rugby school, where William Webb Ellis said, "Don't want to play football anymore, sir." Picked the ball up and ran with it. Never been. So that's always a nice one to chalk off. In the footsteps of Neath last week. Which, if I'd been on that, I don't know if you've seen it, Richard Osman's House of Games, where you've got to put a pin in the map of where you think something is. Down the leg side, he's taken the aerial route, and that's very effective from young Master Lord. It was only just inside the boundary rope there. 1 bounce, 4. Nice clean pick up and away. Just to finish that, I had no idea. I felt it was South Wales, Neath rather than North Wales, but it's about 6 miles from Swansea. Wouldn't have guessed that part of the world, but that's good from Rob Lord. Doubles his score in 1 hit from 4 to 8. 209 for 8. Allison into bowl to him again. Tall upright figures, hit him on the pad and close, and it's out. Looked out from here. Phil Mustard raises the finger, and Allison's got a very well deserved wicket. Looked to be part of the plan. Pitch it right up there, nice and full in the block hole, and Rob Lord again looking to turn it onto the leg side. Has played all around it, and it's 209 for 9, and there's only Luke Fletcher between us and the interval now. Notts will, again, been saying it all the way through, feel it's an under par score on a well used wicket, we have to say, but even so, Essex will be back in their chances of chasing down a score below 220.
Really good thinking as well from the bowler. Bearing in mind the previous delivery got clipped away for 4, almost a 6, and he kept the same line, just bowled it a little bit fuller, and full and straight. And if the batsman misses, and if you hit the pads or the wickets, they're out.
He's got an average now, Rob Lord, after 6 not out and 12 not out. He's got an 8, so that's an average of 26.
There you go, it's nice and healthy, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got an average. There's LJ Fletcher, Esquire, 35 years of age, 36, the big lad next month, September, on his way out to the middle. Mentioned on Friday there'd have been a time where he'd have been crying if the captain and the coach had told him, "You're batting at 11 today, Luke." He'd have been saying, "I want to go in at 3." He's getting, I don't know if he's getting a thorough briefing from Matthew Montgomery or Luke is giving Matthew Montgomery a thorough briefing, but either way, the two in earnest discussion. Luke Fletcher will be looking round to those that he knows out there and to those that he's not met before. There'll be one or two that he's not used his cheesy lines on, and there'll be one or two that's heard it all before, including Phil Mustard, the umpire. That'll be a great conversation. That will be a great conversation because they've had lots and lots of time together over the years. Towards you, Fletch. Away from you a bit, Fletch. That'll do, Fletch. You're taking guard, Fletch. What for? Get on with it, Colonel. 209 for 9. Luke Fletcher. He can biff it, but there's 5 overs to go. Nobody after him. Anyway, Allison bowls, and yeah, I think that's the wisest course of option. Blocks the 5th ball of the over.
Again on the stumps from Ben Allison.
Yeah. Just give it to Matthew Montgomery and let him have the.
Well, I think there's no doubt now he's got to go, isn't he,
Yeah.
Montgomery? There is no point.
Well, he's either got to go or he's got to control the over, and albeit he can't get it away. And they're prepared to let him have a single 5th or 6th ball. We'll take it then. 209 for 9, and Fletcher drives crisply up to mid-off. There's no run, so that is the end of the over. A wicket taking over for Ben Allison, who's quietly been very impressive here. I think 9 overs, 1 for 41. I've enjoyed his performance. Essex 1 wicket away. Knots 209 for 9 with 5 overs left.
That's why Worcestershire are keen to have him on loan for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
He's got potential, that's for sure.
So who's keeping him out at Chelmsford? Obviously Cook and Porter when both fit.
Well, yeah,
Snater.
Cook, Porter, Harmer and Snater.
And of course Harmer, yeah. So the traditional 4-pronged seam attack doesn't really apply if you've got Simon Harmer bowling half of your overs.
I think that's why they're desperately like Snater to at some point move up to perhaps number 6, 7 in batting.
You've got to earn that spot though, haven't you?
You do, you certainly do. Harmer's a really solid number 8. Right, Jamal Richards. What could he do? He's looking for a fifer. This may be his last chance to get it. Here he comes in now, up to the stumps, and he bowls. Sorry, it's Shane Snater,
yeah. And
it's a wide. So they've whipped off Jamal Richards, which is interesting. Maybe he's switching ends.
Well, he's. So where are we? 5 to go. I'll just pull it up.
He's got a couple of overs left.
Allison has only got 1 left. You're right. Richards 8 overs, 4 for 31.
Snater coming in again. Bowls to Montgomery, who clips into the leg side. They will take a single straight away. That's the 50 up for Montgomery. It's a warm round of applause from the locals. 211 for 9. But it also brings Luke Fletcher onto strike.
Yes, well battered. Young Matthew, 66 balls, only 2 fours. I tell you what, they came, I think, right at the start of his innings in consecutive deliveries, 2 reverse sweeps.
Yeah,
is that right? Yeah.
He was going at a fair old rate right at the start, and obviously with wickets falling, he's had to slow down.
Is it off Wesley?
Yeah, I think so. Feroz Kushi.
Yeah.
As this one's guided down by Fletcher for a single, nicely played.
And a bigger cheer.
Yep. riding the bounce and delicately placed down at 3rd man for a single.
Never mind your 50s, Matthew.
And he's off the mark.
Yeah.
212 for 9, Montgomery back on strike. So let's see if he plays with some abandonment here.
Real sun trap away to our left, isn't it? I see 1 or 2 gentlemen have discarded their tops. Maybe ready for a holiday tan.
Snater, right arm over to Montgomery. Comes down and it's a slow ball, was it?
Yeah, it must have been. It bounced again in front of the keeper.
unless it came off the bottom edge of the bat. But either way, missed the stumps and ended up on the bounce in the keeper's gloves.
Again, just a reminder, if we don't know when this innings will come to an end, but if you're watching on the live stream and then you go off and have a cup of tea and a sandwich or do whatever you need to do and come back, you must refresh your live stream pictures, otherwise it won't work, because producer Kirsty is going to turn everything off during the interval and reboot it.
Snater into Montgomery, who stays fairly still this time. That's a short delivery. That's a no ball. Sorry,
no
ball.
Yeah.
Is it no ball for height or it is?
Yeah.
As Snater kicks the ground. There's a word with the umpire as well, or is he having a word with Fletcher?
Yeah, I'll be having a word with everybody. It's a no free hit, but 2 to the total and an extra ball, which isn't a bad result for Notts at this stage. They'll take as many helpful free twos as they can get.
2:14 for 9. Montgomery on strike. That one's just clipped away to the leg side. Should just be a single. Yeah, fielder coming in from the deep. I think that's Blenkenstein. Yeah.
Yes, had it been Montgomery and Moores, there'd have been 2 there, but I feared for Montgomery and Fletcher, or certainly one of that duo getting back for 2.
2:15 for 9.
So a reasonable over this one thus far. Still 2 balls left, but they've managed to pick up by hook or by crook with the help of the no balls. 6 runs from the first 4 balls.
46th over of the Nottinghamshire innings. So
ooh.
Fletcher ducks. Didn't enjoy that.
As I mentioned a while ago, these were the 2 principal performers in that county championship game in 2021. Luke Fletcher with what at the time was a career best 6 for 24. He got a 7 for after then against Worcestershire, but then Shane Snater trumped it really, 7 for 98 in the same match.
Snater in again to Fletcher, who backs onto his stumps. That's clipped off the pads nicely down towards deep backward square leg for a single. 2:16 for 9.
The trouble with that was
stolen the strike.
Yeah, last ball of the over. 216 for 9. Congratulations to Matthew Montgomery, 66 ball half century. It's not been easy because really for pretty much the second part of his innings he's not been allowed to play with, I guess, the normal freedom he would expect to have. It's always a different game when you know you've got 4 or 5 players to come, and especially a couple of decent players to come after you. Get into a little bit of a rhythm and go after your shots, play your shots, but with wickets falling at a fairly fast rate at the other end, he's had to be a little more cautious. Fletcher pushes this back to the bowler and Allison fields. So Allison getting a final over here. So this is the 47th. So then how is he going to do it? Richards has got 2 left, so you'd imagine it to be Richards from the far end and Snater from this end, and then Richards to finish, unless Notts are bowled out. Is that right? I think so.
That sounds good enough.
Allison, 216 for 9. Bowls. Fletcher again, just showing that he's got 1 or 2 books out of the MCC proper ways to play cricket, and then he's just made that signal to Matthew Montgomery that came out of the back of his hand, mate.
I feel a big shot's coming here sooner or later.
216 for 9. Well, if it is, I know the Essex supporters will feel differently. The Notts supporters will hope it does come out of the middle. Push into the offside, no run. What I probably won't want to see is him play defensively for 5 balls, textbook cricket, and then somehow manage to have a bit of a hoo-ah and scramble a single. Important thing is not to get out, I guess, at this stage. They have what have they got? 21 legal deliveries left. They want to face all 21. Something they didn't do against Gloucestershire. Pitched up, driven into the offside. 4th dot of the over.
Tried a Yorker there, didn't he?
Big man, Luke Fletcher, 6'6", something like that. So he's got impressive reach if he gets on the front foot. Impressive reach if you bowl short and wide. But there's a reason he's batting at the bottom of the order. committed in the areas you can expect him to hit. Nice and bowls, and he'll deflect this away on the leg side for a single. Yeah, that's all right. 217 for 9. Gets another run. Now Matthew Montgomery. Allison's final delivery. Might yet be not necessarily a competitive score, but a score that gives Notts a chance if they pick up wickets in the initial power play, and then there's a little bit of a middle order strangle. Unlikely, but they've got to play to the cards have been dealt, and a single taken. 218 for 9, so well done Fletcher and Montgomery at the end of that over. 3 to go, 218 for 9.
Yeah, obviously they're weighing up the decision about when and if to attack, but I get the feeling they think that 220, 230 is going to be enough. No real shots in anger so far. No.
Surrey 242 all out against Sussex. Middlesex 135 all out against Somerset. Hampshire 164 all out against Worcestershire. Durham 307 all out against Kent. All the other matches drawing to conclusion. Lancashire 240 for 9 against Northants. Warwickshire 242 for 9 against Yorkshire. Leicestershire 259 for 8 against Glamorgan. And that's just about your lot, I think. So here is Richards. This will be his 9th.
Montgomery facing 52 off 70 so far. Backs away to the leg side, pulled away in the air. Where's that one gone? Straight in the ground.
Back to the bowler, yeah.
Looking way out to our leg side. Yep. There's 3 fielders patrolling the boundary, 2 in front of square, 1 just behind. There's a mid-on as well. And 3 men inside the circle on the offside, and probably a 3rd man, I would have thought.
Sometimes it's not a bad shot if nobody knows where it's gone, but hit it straight back to the bowler.
Here comes Richards. In again, bowls. That's pulled away. That's in the air. Now, is that going to be caught? Is that going to fall in between? No, it's going to be caught. So he tried to go for it, couldn't get it out of the screws, and he was looking for a leg side boundary there. It ended up in the hands of the man coming in from deep cover. And Essex have bowled Nottinghamshire out for 218 inside the 50 overs. I think Essex will be happy with that, but on this pitch, I'm not sure. I think it's going to be quite tough.
Again, you feel he was backed into a corner, Matthew Montgomery. He was clearly looking. The thought process would be, if I can get 3 or 4 boundaries here between now and the end of the 50th over, it's really going to boost our chances. And then he'll be going back thinking, I wish I hadn't played that shot. It's the great level of the great equation. Luke Fletcher's just put an arm around him. Matthew Montgomery out for 52 from 71. 5 wickets, of course.
Yeah. Congratulations to Jamal Richards, 5 for 31.
Let's just see him on the pictures on the live stream, been given the ball, and not only that, he's getting the accolade of the Trent Bridge crowd, and probably more important to him, the respect and the applause and the congratulations from his teammates and the coaching staff who are all down there to greet him off. That's a nice feeling. That's one that you'd like to think will take pride of place in the Jamal Richards home, and the fullness of time he'll look back on it on this day at Trent Bridge and think, well, that's one of my early impressive performances. I don't necessarily think that all the players these days do take the trouble to save the balls and just get the souvenirs and collect them and get them mounted and keep a scorecard and all the rest of it. Occasionally they might just swap a shirt with a well-respected name, but anyway, he's got 5 wickets, 5 for 31, didn't even have to bowl his full allocation. Matthew Montgomery last out for 52. Ben Slater made 47. A brace of 33s. Freddie McCann and Tom Moores, the 2 left-handers. Jack Haynes opened the innings with 17. Again, in all those instances, you'd say there were lots of runs left out there, but just how difficult has it been to bat?
We're about to find out.
We're about to find out. 150 overs, or near as damn it, have been used. Just a reminder, and producer Kirsty's popped that up on the screen, please refresh your feed for the start of the second. You can read that as well as I can if you've been watching the pictures. You'll need to do that, or you'll be wondering why you're looking at a blank screen when you come back. The youngsters, the mums, the dads, everybody being allowed on the outfield to play bat and ball. We're going to go off and play bat and ball. David and myself have won the toss in the corridor, and if it gets me out, we'll be back in about 25 minutes time to bring you the resumption of this one. Notts all out for 218. Essex require 219 to just completely wipe away Notts' chances of qualifying for the knockout phase. Good game on, we fancy. Notts 218 all out. See you soon.